uncontrollable flesh. Why would anybody watch a scum show like Videodrones?
We are back. Videodrones, episode 6, technically.
Episode 5, part 2?
I guess an episode counts as an episode. I would say an episode per episode.
Fair enough.
We could discuss that later, though. Let's say episode 6.
I need to know now.
We'll figure it out. So this is episode 6 of Videodrones. I have to admit to you, the audience, we lied. We said that we were going to do the Pacific.
I just thought about this morning, yeah.
Yeah, and we decided not to do the Pacific because we want to all watch Band of Brothers. And
yeah,
it would be kind of strange for us to switch in between this like one really narrative driven show and then switch over to another one. It would kind of just be jarring to keep track of. So I feel like we'll do the Pacific at a later date as part of like another episode by episode analysis. But right now I think that we all kind of want to pay attention to Band of Brothers and how freaking good this show is.
Oh, that's amazing.
Holy God. Episode 2, Band of Brothers, and we are back again with our special guest, ReddVelvet, aka Carson, our good friend, our good longtime real life friend.
Yay.
And resident World War II military history buff, demigod of the sort, demigod historian.
Sure.
God.
I demigod of war, you could say.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, damn.
Kratos bucking over here.
Kratos bucking. The new Kratos has to have red hair for sure. A red-haired Irishman.
Yeah,
that'll be good. A Southern Irishman. I remember. Yeah, you got to represent. North. You're north. North. I always mix it up.
You're canceled.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh no.
First you lie to the audience, and then
you lie to me.
Oh no. Oh, I recently learned that my lineage is from the British side, so that was okay, cool. I guess we're on the northern side then. That's the British side, right? The northern side. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. It's up for debate.
It's
been up for debate for 100 years.
Very famously up for debate.
Very famously up for debate. Absolutely. But we're not here to discuss our shared our shared lineage, pain or whatever history. We are here.
I'm Italian and German, so I'm really kind of the bad guy in every context of what we're watching.
We gotta watch out for you.
You are
man.
the bad guy.
Jesus.
And we're not giving you any cigarettes. No cigarettes for you.
It's like I could get specific and say like, oh, it's fine. Like, I'm technically Sicilian and technically from a small town in southern Germany that was close to Switzerland.
The Nazis didn't even find it, that town.
No,
they didn't find it. They didn't know about it.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah. I was in a town purely autonomous.
Yes, exactly. And the episode today, Band of Brothers episode
Day of
2.
Days.
Day of Days, thank you. Day of Days. I'm just going to bring up the wiki for the episode because there's a couple of episode-specific characters, I think.
Everybody knows that D-Day stands for Day. So.
Of course.
Yeah, it's the Day of Days.
It's the sequel to the Nene.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Actually, no, it would be the prequel. It would be the prequel to
it
the
is
name.
the
prequel to the name. Oh my God.
You're 0 for 3 right now, man. Honestly, this is going to be an interesting episode.
This is going to be an interesting episode. Well, it's middle of the week. It's hump day. It's
hump day.
It's a Wednesday. It's hot.
My dudes.
We decided to do this like right away because our friend Sam here has run ahead and watched like 5 episodes since we watched on Sunday.
We were gonna do the Pacific, so I was like, I don't need to worry about it. Like, I'll watch the Pacific on the day right now I just want to do this. So then I went ahead and watched like 4 more episodes of Band of Brothers.
It just
I was
happened.
like, I can't stop.
Hey, it's
You
not a
can't stop,
criticism.
can't stop,
It's
won't
totally
stop.
fair.
Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
fair. It's a great fucking show. This episode, it's kind of the apotheosis, I guess, of all the tension that's been building in
From
the last
episode 1,
in the last episode, and in the 70-minute, essentially, like that episode could really stand on its own as a movie, like and just
episode
not
1.
Yeah, I think that episode 1
Pretty much is.
Yeah, it is. Like if they added like 20 minutes of battle at the end or something like that, and 10 minutes of like denouement, they could probably make that into a movie. I think standalone, it's really good, and it would be worth watching just as is. Like, it's just about these guys getting ready. I mean, there's a reason why Full Metal Jacket was half the training camp. Like, it's actually interesting.
Exactly.
Like, the
It is
social
very
dynamics are
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
I really like that episode a lot. But now we're getting into like the Saving Private Ryan type kind of like
We're getting into the
hardcore
real
battle.
The actual
Real meat of
fighting.
it.
Yeah, like tactical combat, and it's intense. It's super intense. And for reasons that the reasons why are explained by the veterans in the interview at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
So
the
they're
veterans again. The interview set up kind of the meat for or the back story for why we're seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. So they're talking a lot about it's like probably 7 or 8 different men. Like, it was a good amount of men.
I think it varies episode to episode who talks.
Yeah. And they talk about going into the drop zone and like actually seeing,
preparing for it.
It was all of their experiences,
plane.
like being in the plane, jumping out of the plane,
like mentally preparing for it, and that really prepares you, because that's exactly what you're shown in the first scene. Just these men who are just literally diving into complete unknown.
Yeah. Interesting to see how all of them deal with it, right? Some of them are quiet, fidgeting with stuff.
Yep.
Others are smoking cigarettes.
Like
Garnier
lots of
looks like he's
smoking.
about to rip someone's arm off, you know?
Yeah.
Some people are cracking jokes, but very few. It's mostly just sort of a silent
Everybody's kind of
contemplation.
quiet.
Yeah. And it's a solid like 4 or 5 minute scene where it's almost complete silence. I don't know if they show the day specifically that this happened. But the whole
D-Day.
was is it I guess that would make sense.
Well, I guess technically the morning before.
No,
Or the night
the morning
before.
of. So like,
I just imagine that they would present the days in like a more significant way, like the actual time frame, considering how they did it in the last episode, where they were going like day by day with significant events.
I will say they do more in the next episode.
Okay.
Because I watched ahead, because this one it's all D-Days this first episode.
All
and then
one
the next,
day.
The next episode is like D-Day +1, and then jumps to like D-Day +3, and like they're going through that in a more structured thing. But this is all
It's all
purely
one
over the course
day.
of 24 hours.
Well, this show is showing
lot
me
of
how
stuff.
woefully uninformed I am about World War II, and how much of my knowledge is based around video games.
Medal of Honor and Call of Duty.
playing the first Medal of Honor, the first Call of Duty.
Yeah, pretty much. No, a lot of Medal of Honors. Carson would buy pretty much all of them. I swear.
They were good.
They
Back
were
in
the
the day,
most.
they were
pretty much
games.
all about World War II up until like the 8th one or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember Allied Assault in Japan was awesome. That one we played on GameCube co-op. We would split screen multiplayer it. That was so much fun.
Like the 30-inch
I remember
TV.
when I was young and on like the computer, I think it was like because they had demos for like the Mac, because I had a Mac computer at the time, and I would jump back and forth between the demo for the first Call of Duty, where you're like going through the town to take the AA guns, and then go over to the demo for Medal of Honor, which was Omaha Beach, and playing the landing of Omaha Beach, and just jumping between those two demos like over and over and over again.
That's
I used
awesome.
to do it all the time.
Yeah, that's great.
I played the demo for Call of Duty like 50 times.
I think I played Call of Duty 3 a lot. But I would play the intro mission a lot because that was on a demo. It was like the first 2 levels or something like that, and I played the hell out of that one, and that was really good. But those were, I think, like World at War was my most played one. Like I played that campaign 20 or 30 times. Like it's just so good. I was thinking
Yeah,
about it while I was making coffee downstairs, like how good the Russian storyline is in that game. It like gives me goosebumps thinking about Reznov at the end.
Yeah.
It's fucking so badass. Guy gets his arm chopped off. It's, so cool, man. It was interesting.
Word at War is underrated for sure.
Oh, big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also because it covers the Pacific theater, and same thing when we get to the Pacific eventually, like the Pacific just is so, it isn't nearly touched on as much as in comparison to the European theater. It's crazy.
And the Pacific theater is more brutal, or like as brutal, if not more brutal than the European theater. In numbers, it is.
It is as complex and as dynamic.
The whole island,
if not more so. Yeah, because you're talking about campaigns in China, Korea, the Philippines,
Vietnam,
like all these islands, Indonesia, Vietnam, like, you know, the Japanese Empire spread all throughout all of Asia. They were Hong Kong, you know, the British fighting close quarters, like if within 10 feet of Japanese assaults in Hong Kong, like trying to hold the island. Like it's insane, and you just don't really see it touched on as much.
Well,
it's from the American perspective.
Yeah,
my grandfather was part of that on my dad's side.
Really?
Battle of Hong Kong.
Oh fuck yeah!
Wow.
A lot of
He's a
Canadians,
Scottish
a lot of
sniper. I
Canadians
can't
and
remember
Australians.
what division he was, but he was part of the Highlands, like sniping.
That's
kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
He didn't really talk about it a whole lot.
Yeah,
I imagine he wouldn't. Yeah.
No, my granny, she was a nurse during the London Blitz, and she was in Manchester, so she got all of the triage from London because all the hospitals were being bombed, and she never talked about it. No. She would never ever talk about it, but whenever she did, she would just talk about the sirens. That was the only thing she would ever talk about, and it was very eerie, and like a whole kind of different aura kind of came about her, to use a bullshit term. Like it was just like
I don't know if it's bullshit.
I wouldn't call that bullshit.
Aura, I'm just saying, is like
the energy in the room, like the feeling of the
exactly. Yeah, I hate when people use the word aura to describe like people's energy and that sort of thing, like the energy of a
really
room.
Negative aura coming off of you right now.
I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm alienating any of our listeners.
You need to get more crystals in your room to really take away that aura.
I only have one. I have one.
Oh.
That's it.
You need a heart crystal and a spirit crystal, and you need to put them next to each other so that they intermingle and create a positive force.
Well, I have one that's in my windowsill right now, and it's charging with the moonlight. So I'm without it right now.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, the moon's still out. It's never gone.
It's never gone. It's always there.
Yeah.
Magnetic energy never leaves, Carson.
Yeah,
never leaves. Oh man, this is a weird diversion from a World War II show.
The moon is always pushing and pulling the water in your body. Remember that.
Yeah. I will always remember that.
I always forget, and it's always a stupid mistake to forget. I'm sorry.
Oh man. So
all right, back to planes and jumping and stuff.
Well, the opening shot, I think that we should kind of pay or give some tribute to the opening shot, because holy god, the CG, you know, at first I was like, okay, wow, this is old. And then I kind of like, it got intense and I was like, wow, this is old, but holy god, this is really millions and millions and millions of dollars at work.
I think it being at night has a lot of help with that.
Yeah, that's why they do
like
that.
Like old CG is like a lot better looking at nighttime. It's raining and stuff like that.
You can hide it a lot better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Steven Spielberg has said, actually, and I think he talked about that with the production of Jurassic Park.
Yep,
a lot of Jurassic Park is in the dark.
It's raining and at night because it all looked like rubbery, right? Old CG looked
the animatronics
plastic almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So if it's raining, shit gets reflective when it's wet.
Yeah, exactly. And like there's only so many materials you can put, like paste on something to make it look real. Like so many things you could put on something to finish it before
especially back in 2001
for sure. Oh, for sure. But this, like, it starts off and there's a giant cloud that they're flying through, and they're the only plane going through at the, like, in the shot. And that's where they're kind of, it goes in to the plane and shows everybody fidgeting. But the shot of the plane going through the clouds really shows the scale, like how small the plane is and how easily that thing can just be decimated.
We see that for sure.
Yeah, we definitely do see that. And it's a really cool kind of introduction, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it goes in and everybody's fidgeting. I don't think anything really narratively happens in the plane.
Really. Yeah. What I found crazy about that scene too was like Winters was just chilling next to the open door.
That stressed me out too.
Just
I was
sitting
like,
right next to it.
I don't want to
Doesn't
next
care.
the door. It doesn't close. Get the fuck out of here.
And he's
Just sitting
smiling.
next to it.
He's smiling, and he's
he's just chilling next to an open door in a plane.
Yeah.
Somebody looks at him, and he just like looks at them, and he's like, "Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
We've been training for this.
This is chilling."
Yeah. He is a real badass. Like, and the
He
fact
really
that he
is.
really existed is just, I want to pump my fist in the air whenever he does something
dude,
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Captain Winters is just unreal.
yeah, great dude. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess the plane engines were like the first place that I noticed this audio problem that I was having, where like the bass on my TV was really muddy. So maybe I missed some dialogue. I'm not totally sure.
No, there's really only dialogue with one of the lieutenants talking to the pilot, and that's it really.
Yeah.
Which no one really says anything until they start getting up and hooking up onto the thing, and then that's just like hook up, check your pack. Like that's
5 okay, 4 okay, 3 okay. Yeah, and they go into thunderstorms, like a big patch of thunderstorms.
I don't think it's a thunderstorm.
No, I think it's all flak.
I think it's just guns.
Is it all flak?
It's just AA guns. Yeah.
Oh,
it wasn't raining at all.
No, it wasn't raining.
It's just cloudy.
Oh,
that's how many guns are going off.
That's even scarier. I literally thought that they were going into thunderclouds.
Nope.
Oh,
it's just 88s and whirlwinds as far as the eye can see, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, the bravery of those pilots. Those pilots must have known that they were gonna go. Like, there's no way that they knew.
A lot of them made it back.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, other than the planes that got shot down and the occasional pilot who catches some flak in his dome piece, most of them made it back because they had to do other trips, right? They can't afford to lose all those planes, you know what I mean?
Well, of course not. But it looked like all of the planes got completely eviscerated.
A lot of them did.
I don't know the stats, but I think maybe something like 15% would get destroyed or something like that, which is still a lot because there's thousands of planes, right?
Okay, maybe it was just kind of visually misrepresentative of the actual data.
Well, we
itself.
only see a piece of what they were all doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There were a whole other battalions jumping as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
It kind of
only really
seemed
see the
to
one.
me like the landing on Normandy, the Normandy beach, where like kind of all of the U-boats were kind of led to slaughter almost. Not the U-boats, the
landing craft.
The landing crafts, yeah. They were all kind of just led into this area where they knew that they were going to get shot.
They made those very cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
knew, right?
I kind of assumed it was the same vibe with the
Can't really
planes,
get away with that
airborne.
with planes.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that would be very, very expensive. Incredibly, way too expensive. And yeah, we see how much money they lose through this next 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. Just in terms of like manpower and you think all the training, you know, we see these guys go through 3 years of training
just
and
to die.
Just to have a whole plane get hit by an 88 and explode, and you lose like 15 soldiers right away, and it's like, whew, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a
So not to like sort of devalue human life into dollars, but just to illustrate the intense resources that go along to just getting one soldier over to try to attempt to fight the Germans in Europe. You know what I mean?
It speaks to both the sacrifice that the government was willing to make and the sacrifice of the individual, I think. And it speaks really loudly to kind of the callousness of the government, I think, towards soldiers' lives in a lot of cases. I know, like, I can't cite this specifically, but I remember my history teacher back in high school, Coombs. He had always said that Winston Churchill led a whole bunch of Canadians into a suicide mission, and like 25. It was at Dieppe.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And like 25,000 Canadians got killed, or like a really large number. And we have a small army now, like as is. So like the callousness of the government, but also like the willingness of an individual to sacrifice like their life.
That was like it was like a raid to see if they could get a beachhead in France.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So they sent them, and it turns out they didn't.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah,
That's
Operation
crazy.
Jubilee. That's right.
Operation
Yeah.
Jubilee. I'll have to remember the name.
3,000 were killed.
3,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So not 25,
7,000 landed,
but a lot.
and 3,600 were killed or wounded.
Okay, that's an interesting
Yeah.
addendum to that.
Yeah, and that was all Canadian forces. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. The government was really just balls to the wall at that point. They were just like, we need to push every resource that we have towards stopping this.
Right? Like,
Yeah. Otherwise, we get Wolfenstein.
no, otherwise Russia
Colossus.
just takes all of Europe.
Otherwise, Russia just takes all of Europe.
I don't know.
Was that the fear?
Now we're getting into all this old history stuff, but like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
I don't think that Russia would have been able to defeat the combined force of Germany and Italy if they had no one else to deal with other than Russia. I think it would have just turned into either a really intense, brutal stalemate on the border that wouldn't have pushed Russia any further, and then Germany would have consolidated all of Europe and probably all of North Africa, and then and Japan probably would have taken Asia if nobody ever got involved, right?
Fun.
Yeah.
What a world that would be,
right?
What a strange world that would
really
be.
Except for the whole nuking America and splitting it down the middle aspect, it's really sort of a man in the high castle situation.
That's what I was gonna say.
Do they do that in Man in the High Castle? They nuke America?
The story is in Man in the High Castle is the Nazis develop the nuke first. They figure it out because they were only 6 months away at the end of the war. The Americans beat them by literally months, and so they develop the nuke first, and they use it to defeat the Allies in Europe, and then they launch a nuclear strike on like several major cities like New York, Washington, and they take over the continental United States and basically split it down the middle with the East Coast or West Coast being the Japanese and the East Coast being under Nazi control. That's the plot of the Man in the High Castle. Yeah,
that's a really cool story. That's like a really cool plot. I like that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that show out, Man in the High Castle.
Yeah, the show on Amazon Prime is it's pretty good. I gotta say, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, sort of their like staple show. Like if you're comparing it to like a Netflix original, like it would be their kind of breakout hit. Like what was the biggest breakout hit for Netflix? I guess
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah.
Yeah, I would because it's a bit supernatural. It gets a bit supernatural. That's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in the plane and we are coming through the clouds, and
they get shot up and they get the green light eventually, and out they go.
Sort of illustrate how much chaos this was. You have like the pilot in Winter's plane, and the co-pilot just gets his head exploded by a piece of flak,
and he was saying that they were going too quick, right?
Yeah, so he just hits the light.
He hits the light, get them the fuck out the plane.
Yeah,
but like he jumps, and I guess the speed was what knocked all this gear off of him.
Yeah,
right? Like good luck ever holding on to that when you're going that fast, right?
Yeah.
Well, like you were saying in the last episode, the 80-pound leg bag.
Yeah, the leg bag.
Talking about that at the beginning.
Yeah. The one guy
ripped off his leg bag.
Yeah, one of the veterans was like, I jumped to the plane, that thing was gone instantly.
Well, like the force of it would, like falling, the velocity, it wouldn't, the parachute would not hold that. Like it's either the parachute goes or that bag goes kind of thing. So I would much rather the bag go.
And then if you're lucky enough to find it when you hit the ground, great.
Yeah, fantastic. But most likely not. You're not going to find that thing. It's gone. Yeah, that's going right to a German soldier. But what can you do?
So they jump out. So the next scene is them jumping out the plane, and landing in that. Winters lands in that field.
Yeah,
guns going off all around him and everything, and that kid falls right next to him.
Private Hall, played by Andrew Scott from Sherlock, who played Moriarty.
Oh, interesting. I thought I recognized him.
I did too, and I had to look it up.
Yeah.
And it was so they're just like
18 and
they go one way, and then the AA guns go off and they get shot at, so they run the other way. It just encapsulates the chaos of that landing in general.
And Winters falls without a weapon too. So the kid is the only one with a weapon, and that's like a recurrent kind of situation that a lot of these soldiers are in. They've lost all their gear. If they're like a demolitions person or whatever, like sometimes they have
a radio man and he lost
and he lost like literally they're losing their backpacks, they're losing their leg bags, like all their gear is flying off in these crazy landings.
It's chaotic.
And when they're on the ground, they start talking and exchanging kind of information about each other. And he says something like
about looking for landmarks.
Yeah, he's looking for. They're looking for landmarks, like different
trees.
Yeah, and then we we have our first kind of like, oh, is it a German? Is it a German?
When they're walking on the river.
And there's a phrase that
I don't remember what it's called.
No, he doesn't use the phrase yet. He uses that later. But yeah, they have a little, like basically like the little bottle cap thing. Use the little clicker thing.
Oh, is that what? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because remember, Winters, he's sitting there, and they're both sitting there, and he doesn't have a weapon because he only has his knife. So he does the click. He does it once, and there's no response. So then Hall gets his machine gun ready, and then clicks again. And they just kind of barrel into the water, like, "Winters, is that you?"
So clumsy and loud. Like definitely gonna get caught. Definitely gonna get us all caught. It's like a whole German battalion's gonna just pop right through.
So they say land 82nd, I think he says.
Oh yeah, no. It's one of the sergeants, and then he's like, "Hey, it's me." And then these two guys are from the 82nd. Yeah, and then Hall's like, "82nd? Where the fuck are we?" Like everyone's drop zones are all over the place.
Yeah, because and then Lipton was like, "I saw a sign back there. It's like Sam Eglise or something like that."
And that's very cool because then Winters instantly is like, "Okay, I think I know where we are." And then he just gets into a tarp with a map and figures out exactly where they need to go. Again, emphasizing just what a brilliant cartographer he is.
Yeah, and
he's able to just navigate.
The cartography keeps on coming into play too. Like it's like a recurring theme. This
guy's amazing with a map.
Yeah, he likes to use or do things in a more technical sense and do things in a more kind of like calculated sense as opposed to just rushing forward and murdering everybody. Foreshadowing. So so they meet up with the people on the
it goes to the train tracks.
And then
they're on the train tracks.
They look at the map and they're going along the train tracks because the train tracks are parallel to the river, and the river is the right way to go to get back to their base.
The
and it's a 7-kilometer walk. They were saying, which it's like, oh well, like I walk my dog 5 kilometers. I can walk my dog 10 kilometers. It's like, oh yeah, well I don't have water in my boots. I also don't have like 18 pounds of just clothing on, and then also 200 pounds of gear, and fucking a million Germans shooting
walk
at you.
Into a German and get shot, right? Like,
exactly.
Just behind enemy lines.
It's like 7 kilometers.
So they walk on. I guess they make they hear a sound, and fucking Malarkey walks up and he's like, "It's probably a friggin' train or something." Come on, bro, you're gonna get your guys killed.
Yeah,
and then the flash thunder. And...
that's where then they use it. Yeah, thunder, flash. There you go.
Yeah, but Toy was saying how he was studied the sand tables that I brought up last time.
Yeah, he mentions that.
Yep, he studied sand tables.
Oh, sorry. Who did Winters?
Joe Toy. They meet up with Joe Toy and Malarkey and Garnier. They show up.
I love Joe Toy. He's great. He's the handsome fella who looks like he should be in the Tunnel Snakes.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad you guys knew exactly who I was talking about.
He's the Jersey greaser. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And he has a pretty insane scene coming up in the assault later on. We'll talk about.
That made me. I had to pause it for a second because I was laughing too hard. It's like I'm gonna miss somebody dying or something like that. Oh shit.
Yeah. So they show up and he's like, "Yeah, we're going the right way. Like I studied the sand tables. Like this is what we're supposed to be."
So they meet up with Winters and Lipton and Hall and those other two guys.
Yeah, there's like 6 men who
Garnier
come
Hall
out.
take lead. Garnier's like, who the hell's Hall?
Right? Yeah, who are these guys?
Who the hell's this kid?
Yeah.
And they find the Germans in the tunnel.
Yeah, so
that's the next scene.
They hear something down the road, and they
hear horses.
Yeah, horses, and they automatically assume that it's it's obviously the Germans, because
a pretty safe assumption in this
yeah,
case.
in this case, yeah. So they position themselves on the opposite side of the tunnel, wherein the
I think they did both ends. I think they surrounded it.
No,
Did they
I
do
think
both
they're
ends?
just on one end.
Was it
They're
just
just on
the
one
one?
end.
Okay.
yeah, because the guy tried running out, I think. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so they have everybody positioned on the side that would be most convenient. Like they're them going in.
Wait for my signal.
They're coming out.
Yeah.
Wait for my signal. And yeah, Winters doesn't have a weapon as well, so let's keep in mind that not everybody has a weapon still. It's only
of the 7 or 9 of them, I think. I can't remember how many there are. But yeah, 2 of them are completely unarmed.
yeah, at least 2 of them. There might be more who are
It's safe to assume a
unarmed.
couple more might be, but I don't think they were. I think it's just.
I think it was just
Their firepower that they have, regardless, is more than enough to take out these folks.
Yeah, I think Winters was trying to get the guys to come forward more and more, so that way they couldn't really escape.
Yeah.
And have one big hit. But Garnier's just like, no, I'm really, really, really mad that my brother died, and
do you think
to kill as many Germans as I can?
Do you think that it was? Do you think that he wanted to do that, or do you think that he was going to try and be diplomatic about it and try and capture them?
No. They're not capturing anybody right now.
No,
they don't have the people to hold them, right? Like,
I guess
they
would
have
have
the resources to hold POWs right now.
Yeah, I guess they have the POWs later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, but I saw I also seen the documentary on it because it was part of the download that I had. It gave the documentary too.
Well, that works.
And Garnier, actual Bill Garnier said he was super, super mad during that jump because he found out his brother just died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just going in there trying to kill as many Germans as I can.
Because it was Germans who killed his brother, right?
Yeah. So that's why he just said, screw this, I'm going to kill them right now.
Yeah. Speaking of campaigns that don't get talked about too much, the Italian campaign also doesn't really get a lot of...
No.
And North Africa, for that matter. Pretty much no campaign other than Western Europe gets covered very much in... Western and Eastern Europe gets covered very much in media for World War II.
Tank wars in North Africa are really... really interesting.
I don't know about any
the Italian
of that,
campaign is super interesting, especially with the Canadians in Italy. I love those stories are very interesting.
I'd love to go through Hearts of Iron. Have you guys seen that game before?
Yeah,
I've heard of it. I don't know what it exactly is.
It's like a grand strategy game, right?
It's
Civilization kind of.
It's like a Europa Universalis, but it's more based in military management and kind of diplomacy and military strategy. So it's apparently a lot of people really fucking love it, and you have a bunch of moddable scenarios. So I imagine everybody's put in every scenario known to man under the World War II umbrella. So I feel like that would be something cool to explore, a fun tool to learn, because obviously I don't know enough about this. I don't know anything about the Italian or North African wars really.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are we? We're at the Germans
right at the right after the ambush. Yeah, they
well, let's
hit this little convoy.
Can we the fucking brutality of this scene is insane. It's really, really grotesque. They make it as obvious as possible. What's his name? What's his name again?
Garnier,
yeah. Garnier just opens fire on these people.
And the look on his face when he's doing it too.
Yeah,
he's furious.
He's furious.
It's his war face kind of thing. Just
let me see your war face.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody opens fire. This thing goes on for a solid minute and a half.
It's just straight guns going for basically a minute.
And you see a horse blown to bits by a grenade, or not a grenade, a piece of dynamite, whatever it was.
No, it was a grenade. Yeah,
it was grenade. Yeah, it was brutal. And people trying to surrender, don't care.
Nope.
No, you're dead.
No surrender.
No surrender. You're dead. People trying to run, nope, you're dead. Just shooting fucking everybody.
They had to, right? Think of it if they let these people escape, one, they'd probably die because more Germans would come to kill them. And two, they can't bring them with them. They have there's 12 of them. What are they going to do with German POWs, right? There's a chance that they get a gun and start killing soldiers.
Yeah, you turn your back.
They can't do anything. They have to kill them.
Somebody
There's
gets
no way around it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you can't tell them to sit there and wait. No, they'll just leave. Right? You can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about it in
liability.
I was thinking about it in Saving Private Ryan, right? Where I guess spoiler for Saving Private Ryan, but in the middle when they take the radio tower, the MG nest and the radio tower, and they let the one German POW go. Hopham's like, no, we can't shoot him, let him go. So he convinces everybody to let him go, and then later on, that same German soldier is the one who kills several of their squad members.
Yep.
I think about that all the time. It's like, I mean, yes, unfortunately that
makes sense.
If these guys escape, then you will just see them again later, and they will be
with
shooting
a lot
at you
more
again.
Of their friends, where you are, how many of you there are, what weapons you've got. Like, you have to deal with them.
If somebody's willing to die or go to war and shoot somebody for an ideology or an ideological cause, they're not going to be swayed by like some American guy who's invaded their land.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, Nazis are bad. You shouldn't be a Nazi anymore. Go back to where you came from, your natural homeland, and whatever. And
once you get there, we'll also be there because we're gonna blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get hung in Nuremberg, but it is what it is.
Soldiers.
What's that?
Soldiers weren't tried for that.
Yeah, soldiers just high command and officers.
Was that only high command? Oh, that's interesting.
All the ones who didn't escape to Argentina, that is.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Is there a lot of Nazis in Argentina, or are there?
Thousands, literally thousands.
That is terrifying. I was actually
literally thousands escaped to Argentina before the end of World War II. Only a fraction of those responsible for like the Nazi Party were actually tried in Nuremberg.
Yeah.
Of what could have been, I should say.
So that's why they made such an example out of the people that they did actually get.
Oh, sorry, Argentina or NASA. Yeah.
Or NASA.
Yeah, or NASA.
Shout out Operation Paperclip.
There it is.
Good shit.
Here's a big paperclip.
Yeah, that's a big paperclip.
A lot of papers, a lot of visas in that paperclip.
Yeah, it's a big paperclip to drop down a really big rabbit hole. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, that's a separate podcast, Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
All right. So, dead Germans, dead horses. Winners chewing up Gardner.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna do it, right? Like,
pretty tame.
Because of course,
pretty tamely, I would say, for a commanding
well,
officer.
you kind of got to be careful, right? Like,
you can't
the
just.
guy's not really in the best state of mind right now. If you start screaming at him, it might not end well.
But boots on the ground are boots on the ground for in this case. Like, it's just he's a resource. Like, if there's collateral damage, it is what it is, because the work that he does is still useful. And they need as many resources as they can. Like we were saying, it's balls to the wall. Like, they have to throw everything that they can at stopping the Nazis. And it's interesting that I still haven't seen one swastika outside of on the map. There's not a swastika on any of the soldiers, on any of the German soldiers, as far as I could see.
I can't remember. I think they only ever wore swastikas for parade dress, except for the SS. The SS wore them all the time. That's where it was famous. Was because the SS divisions would wear swastikas, but the Wehrmacht didn't wear it just out in the field. I don't think.
So the Wehrmacht were like
the army.
They were like the infantry army. Okay,
like the standard army,
like more of the high trained.
The SS were a paramilitary organization. They weren't actually part of the army. The SS divisions were a political army, specifically built by the Nazi Party to be their own personal, like.
They still fought in the war, though.
Oh, tons. SS divisions were massive, but they were purely like volunteers, conscripts, and they were trained and given the best equipment that they could. That's why you see a lot of SS in old videos and stuff. They have all kinds of equipment because they had to get their hands on whatever they could to outfit this massive surge of just purely fascist fanatics who just wanted to go and murder people for the fatherland.
They must have been so high. Amphetamines.
They're all hopped up on meth the whole time.
And have you seen that video of Hitler rocking back and forth on amphetamines?
No. Oh, wow, no.
No.
Let's see if I can find that easily.
I'm not surprised that he was a junkie.
No, they all fucking were, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell amphetamines.
Drug.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of did this purpose. It gave them a shit ton of energy.
got
Kept
them to
them
charge
awake.
positions. Yeah, stormtroopers were.
It's like ISIS. Like ISIS gives all of their combatants meth and like crazy psychosis inducing things to like keep them hooked within the system, because if they stop, like where else are you going to get meth in Iraq when everything's destroyed? Like,
in Germany, it wasn't for that though. It was because they thought that
it's not
were super soldiers.
No, it would. It
kind of were.
They were kind of doing a Captain America thing, as far as I could tell.
Yeah,
like
we're experimenting with drugs to build super soldiers. Yeah,
pretty much.
Some real Wolfenstein stuff.
I can't find that video, but it was from a race. I think it was from like a Volkswagen kind of exhibition or something.
Oh, okay.
And he's sitting there, and he's like rocking back and forth, and he's moving his hands like somebody who you would see like who is in a crisis on the street, who's going through some sort of withdrawal symptoms or is high on whatever drug they're on. It's really weird to see. I don't know, man.
They were hopped up.
They really were. They were putting dog heads in robots. Of course they were. They had to be high. What the hell do you think they're gonna?
That is just a Wolfenstein thing, though. I don't think that's.
Fuck.
I might be wrong.
You're mixing.
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen
with real life now a little bit.
I thought I saw documents that showed it or something, or diagrams.
They didn't do any straight up like they came from Mars Attacks stuff with like sewing human heads on the dogs or anything like that. I
wish that they did though. Well, actually, no. I wish that they don't, because that's dead dogs.
I really wish they didn't.
Yeah, no, that's dead dogs.
You don't want them doing that.
No, because if they do that, then there's always a chance they figure it out.
Yeah.
They were 6 months away.
They were 6 months away from putting heads on dogs.
Human animal hybrids.
The brain of a man, the body of a dog. Unstoppable.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! I want to see that movie.
The closest we can get to werewolves.
I want to fucking
right
see
now,
that
it's
movie.
the best we can do.
It's good enough. It's good enough for now.
Nazi werewolves from outer space.
Nazi werewolves from outer space. It'll be like the sequel to that moon Nazi movie. Iron Sky.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want to see that movie. I still haven't seen that. I remember you telling me about that and thinking, what the hell are these?
It's so
people
fucked, and it's super racist.
I could imagine.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not then. Maybe not.
No, I guess you could argue that that's the point. They're supposed to be like, look at how bad these Nazis are, but like, you can already have Nazis be bad without making a black guy and turning him into a white guy. Like, you know what I mean? Nazis are already bad.
It's kind of implicit within them, yeah.
You don't need to.
Let's not make them worse, right? Like, let's not do that.
You have moon Nazis with a giant UFO base that shoot nukes at this planet. You don't also need to have them make every other race white.
That is a weird choice for that filmmaker
I'm
to
sure
make.
if they had that technology, they'd probably do that.
Yeah,
I'm sure, but like, anyway, yeah. There's something to be said for like trying to do social commentary and then just doing a gratuitous thing almost as a throwaway joke.
Yeah,
and then saying it's commentary. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, what are you pulling out of your ass, right?
Yeah. So next scene, we're in a swamp. It's
good morning now.
Going off on some tangents this episode, I think
it's fine. Whatever. This is an action-heavy episode. Yeah,
that's true.
Chill episode.
This is a chill episode.
Chill.
Yeah, sort of chill. We're talking about some pretty dark shit.
Yeah, so they're in the pond, and Garnier's just talking to Toy, and he's like, he's telling me not to shoot. Telling me not to shoot Nazis. And he's like, bro, he doesn't have a gun. Like, what do you expect to shout at them?
Yeah.
He wanted you to wait for his command, and then Garnier's just like, Toy or Joe, he don't even drink. Yeah, like, that's an argument.
Yeah, he's a Quaker.
I don't trust him because he never partakes in the alcohol.
Yeah, like he keeps on calling him a Quaker too. Like because he doesn't drink and I think that hasn't killed anybody before this. I don't know if he's killed anybody in the war before this.
I don't think any of them have at this point.
Probably not.
But despite him being a commanding officer, like, he kills his first person, like, seemingly, and he doesn't. I don't know. Because at the end he says it's a day of firsts. I don't know. So that seemed to be like, what was the other first? I don't know what the other first was. Jumping.
I'm trying to think. There were a couple. Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
That's
the
about
whole
it.
thing is a first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
Because
so.
up at this point, it's like, well, we practiced, and now we're fucking taking down howitzers and storming positions and
doing some crazy shit.
Doing some crazy shit.
So they from the pond they go to the farmhouse, the burning farmhouse.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and they get
the paratrooper hanging there dead.
This was a very eerie scene. This was very eerie.
All the dead Germans and the dead Americans everywhere.
Yeah. This seemed like there was definitely a battle here. We got a couple paratroopers just hanging in trees, and they're all mangled.
Yeah.
And
they just said, if you ever need supplies or ammo, now's the time.
Get them now. You gotta loot these guys. Unfortunately, they cannot use these anymore.
Push that out of your mind on what you're seeing, and just focus on what you got to do.
Yeah,
otherwise you'll be that guy standing there staring at the dead guy in the tree.
Yeah,
well, that's it. We have a couple shots hanging there, just like oh man.
Everybody freezes up for a second, and then Lipton's like, "Come on, guys, we gotta go."
Yeah, the guy who's standing in the back. I think that was an interesting moment. In particular, like the guy who doesn't really have any lines. I don't think that he's a character like in the show.
He's one of the 82nd guys.
He's one of the 82nd guys. Yeah,
he's not even named.
Not part of Easy Company.
Yeah, he's not.
He has a name. I don't remember what it was, but
it's like a throwaway name. Like it's he's not going to be a character that's going to be a focal point of the show. But it's still focused on him for like a solid 10 seconds, 15 seconds, where he's kind of like 1,000 yards staring at somebody.
Do you think that's to denote a difference in the quality of training between Easy Company and the other divisions? Like maybe it's like the 82nd guys are like, oh god, oh shit, and Easy Company's just like getting down to
definitely see it
ready.
Well, that might have been
I think
like back to their training. Yeah, I guess you're right. Like what they had to go through.
I think there's a bit of both. I think there's a bit of both. My first impression of that specific kind of scene was that guy was going to reveal that was his buddy or something like that. I thought that was my first impression, and I kind of
a dead guy chilling in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of ambiguous. You don't really know because you don't have a voice or a kind of you can't listen to what the guy's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And that had some cool implications because it could be just like this guy, he's a young dude, he's seeing like his first like real dead body in the daylight,
that's
like
probably what it was.
Bloated, like not doing well, like obviously dead, very dead in a very grotesque way. Or is it his buddy? Or like
I think it was
who knows? Yeah,
but you never know. Chances of him being his friend, I don't think were very big.
I just like the fact that it wasn't explained. Yeah.
So they're going through all the bodies and introduces that Malarkey really wants Luger.
He's desperate.
Yeah,
he's desperate to find a Luger and bring it home for his brother.
Right? Like
he's the comedic relief in this episode for sure.
Yeah, and the landing start.
Yeah, so he goes in and he's like, there's like 2 dead Germans, and he's like going over him. He's like, come on, none of these guys have a Luger, man. Like he's like trying to find one, and that will come back later in a big dumb way.
Yeah, great scene with that. Honestly, I love that. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much everything that happens at the farm, other than Winters and Buck being to each other. Buck is a character that they've met up with
later.
They don't meet until they get to the commands.
Yeah,
they meet up with everybody. Yeah,
because it goes to what's
that's the next scene. The next scene is them getting to the crossroads where the airborne have created the headquarters.
Okay, excuse me.
So horses in the middle of the road. Yeah,
I might be missing a couple beats here. So
that's
right. Feel free to take over.
We're going from the farmhouse to another farmhouse.
It's true.
Yeah, there
which
you go.
Is where the headquarters is located, and they walk across all the POWs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Malarkey's like, top of the morning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Where are you from, son?
Where are you from, boys?
Like, he says the same city that he's from.
Yeah.
I don't know what city it was.
This was it was something in Oregon. He said like
100 miles away.
Something. Yeah.
100 miles away from each other.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing in a Kraut uniform?
Yeah. They pass these German prisoners, and one of them happens to be American.
Yeah.
Full American accent. It's very disarming. I was not expecting that.
Really,
Disarms Malarkey too.
We canceled. My family answered the call, so here we are.
Yeah. Everybody
they returned home to fight for the glorious Nazi Reich.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What a weird cause to
Very
die
interesting.
for. What a
Very
weird thing to. What a weird hill to die on. Honestly, don't get it. Do not get it at all.
I mean, it's like trying to think about. I mean, I've always been burdened with too much goddamn empathy. But thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, maybe it's like the late 30s. They're hearing this, the Germany is trying to regain its strength. They want to be they want to be powerful again. They want to be proud of being German again. This family just happens to buy into all the lies that the Nazi Party is selling. Right? They buy into all the propaganda.
A lot of people did.
Buy into all the stuff. So many people did. They return home from emigrating wherever they happen to go. They bring their families, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's and things are good. Look at us. It's the late 30s. Germany's booming, or the industry's back, and we're finally proud to be each other. And oh, look at those people being killed. Don't look. That's not important. That's not our business. Oh boy, look, we're having such a great time now.
So I think a lot has to do with the fact that they obfuscated like most of the concentration camp stuff, like from the public, at least from.
A lot of people did not know it was a thing.
Yeah, there's a great movie that both of you guys would really enjoy called Lore, with an accent afterwards, Lore, and it's about a German family, and the parents are high-ranking like legal officials or something like that. They're like a diplomatic force in the Nazi Party.
Okay, and like emissaries or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And the Russian government comes up to their house and arrests them, and kills them and puts them into like the camps and kills them. And that happens like very early on. So it's the story about this girl, this like typical blonde, blue-eyed, Aryan-looking girl, going through and trying to cross between the American and British, the German and the Russian borders. And like how intense that was, and along the way she becomes or starts helping somebody who escaped from a Holocaust, or not a Holocaust, concentration camp. Like he's got the number and everything. So it's kind of the dynamic between like this girl being told her whole life that Jews are like the cause of all of the country's woes and everything like that, and kind of learning that her parents are the proprietors of all of this evil. And learning about this boy who survived like one of the worst things that's ever happened in history. It's a fantastic movie. And they have to they have like two like younger siblings that have to make their way as well. It's heartbreaking and really, really intense. But anyway, it's it's interesting to see.
I don't know if I want to watch that.
I'll definitely check that out.
A big theme in it. Sorry, this is looping back around. A big theme in that movie is them exposing all of the Germans in the camps, in the POW camps, to the atrocities. So they show them all of the photos, and they, instead of like putting them in a jail cell, they have all of the photos on a bulletin board, and they sit them in front of the bulletin board, and they make them just sit there and look at the photos. And if you're caught not looking at the photos, you get in shit, kind of thing. So all of these people had to be exposed to this after they had already been caught.
Right.
So it just shows like how systematic and how like they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew how evil what they were doing was, and they made sure that the public didn't know about it. Despite there always being rumors and stuff, but fucking
like with anything.
Yeah, but the horrifying ordeal the 30s and the 40s were just overall, I would say.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's definitely one way to put it.
Yeah. Absolutely. The rain's coming in eerily enough as I'm saying that.
I was gonna mention that. I can hear it.
So they sorry, let's bring it back.
So he's talking. Malarkey's talking to the POW. They're just chatting.
American POW,
shooting shit, and then he gets called. He's like, "Come on, we gotta go." So he gets to going, and on the way he passes Captain Spears.
We jumping.
We jumped a little bit. Oh, okay.
We jumped. That doesn't happen.
Okay.
Stop fraternizing with the enemy.
You guys, if I had a freaking stick, I'd be smacking you.
Trust me, in our Idiocracy episode, I jumped like 20 minutes ahead by accident.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
It happens. It's
happening.
It's gonna happen. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, exactly.
Get it together.
There you go.
So Malarkey starts talking to them, and then and it jumps to the rest of the guys arriving at the camp.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotcha.
at the farmhouse, and they're all like, "Oh shit, what up, easy company? Ah, ha ha!" Handshakes, hugs.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like, "You guys made it. We're all alive." And then the guns are going off in the background, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, what was that explosion?" kind of thing.
Yeah. And you hear
And
the
then
jets.
that's when Winters meets up with Buck.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck's going on here? Like, what's the status?
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah blah. And then Buck's like, "Good to see you, by the way." He's like, "Oh, yeah, right. Good to see you."
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And Buck was like, I thought this one was really interesting. He said, if Meehan, I think his name is Lieutenant Meehan.
Oh, Lieutenant Meehan.
Yeah.
He
Doesn't show up, that puts you in line to be head of Easy.
That's the Simon
And
Pegg
Winters gave him that
character.
look. That was like,
no,
what you're focusing on right now, kind of thing. Like, I don't want to become leader because my boss died. Kind of look.
Very Tony Soprano of him, all I'll say.
Yeah.
Not wanting to take the reins for sure.
Yeah.
Who is the guy next in line?
So
To become part of Easy, head of Easy company?
To become head of Easy after no, the guy who supposedly died.
Lieutenant Meehan.
Lieutenant Meehan, yeah. We see him at the end of the first episode. He's chatting with him in the tent, like very briefly.
Briefing the soldiers.
And then that's really it.
I just want to Oh, okay, cool. Meehan. Yeah, Meehan. Okay. Sweet.
It's really hard. They don't really do a good job pronouncing things.
No, they aren't. No, their pronunciation or enunciation isn't the best in this show.
Yeah, they're in situations where that's not the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So after that, it's Spears shows up and is like, "Hey, you got some smokes?"
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he takes the whole cartridge. He's like, "Okay, just walk away with that, I guess."
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Walk
I guess
away with
have
the
them
whole
all.
pack.
Yeah. He
Have
takes
the
them all
whole
for Buck.
pack.
He takes the whole pack for Buck. And he's like, okay, yeah, I guess I wasn't smoking those. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I would not be happy if I was that guy. I would be very
I know.
pissed off.
And then that's when Malarkey runs past Spears.
Yeah.
And Spears
Yeah.
hands out the cigarettes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you hear the gunfire go off.
He hands out cigarettes to all of the German POWs. He lights their cigarettes, and then it cuts to Malarkey running, and then you hear a quick spatter of Thompson fire. And Malarkey stops and he turns around, and he looks, and presumably because he's watching Spears gun down these like 8
Never
POWs.
confirmed that he does it, by the way.
Never confirmed, but it's
Never confirmed.
more than likely he
More
shot
than
them
likely
all.
he shot them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Because of the same issue that I said before,
Yeah.
which was they're pulling resources away to capture and hold these men, right?
Yeah.
They can't let them go. You can't just leave them, right?
And
like
they knew about this too.
Meant to hold them there, right? Like you have this objective you got to take.
It is not part. It was not part of the airborne's objectives to take prisoners.
No, it was not.
No, and
So they had to kill them.
I feel
There's
like
no way around it.
I know, but it's still that's
horrible.
a great thing. It's like
It's
one of those
horrible,
things, right?
Horrible to do, but
yeah.
It's like if you let them go, this is probably gonna bite them in the ass.
Yeah,
right?
I feel
they know
like
where your headquarters are. They know how many men you got.
That's also
there.
a great point. Yeah.
I feel like I can't judge the decisions of an army general within that time.
But you don't
necessarily
have a choice, right?
Yeah. Well, with
you
prisoners,
have a choice, but the outcomes of all of them are bad.
And I say
So
I
choose the
hesitate
one
to
that's gonna
criticize
save
because I don't
you
know
the
that as
most
much.
men, right?
Yeah.
That's the best answer. Is what one is gonna save my soldiers?
Yeah. And that's the most important thing.
Kill the Germans.
Well, like we see, there's
Horrible,
lots of
it's a
examples.
war crime, but
there's lots of examples in media and I think in history where if you take a soldier and the soldiers have been like driven by some sort of ideology, a lot of the time, like, or at least in popular media, they'll pretend that they take on your ideology and they'll wait until the best possible moment to strike, and then they'll kill 3 or 4 of the most loved characters in the show, kind of thing. Like,
but the ideology thing wasn't really a Wehrmacht. It was more SS. The
there wasn't
Wehrmacht guys
that much. There wasn't that much ideology in the infantry.
The standard German army really was just sort of like, yeah, we're doing what we got to do. We're taking this because we want we love Germany and whatnot. But when it comes to like they weren't fanatical like the SS. The SS were the ones who were like, we're gonna fucking exterminate the whole planet because we're pure blooded, the Trojan of God. You know what I mean?
Wehrmacht were more just soldiers.
Well, that's interesting that it wasn't like an anti-Semitic kind of like like
they might have had those thoughts, but
well, yeah,
it wasn't as fanaticized as the SS.
Yeah, I can't imagine a lot of ethnic Germans would have thought very kindly of Jewish people within that time period, considering all the propaganda and like psychological warfare that happened.
Opinion of them,
but they weren't necessarily driven to go to war because they wanted
with the specific purpose of exterminating
Germany, or with the purpose of exterminating Jewish people.
It's like, I guess the comparison, or I guess the difference is like, the Wehrmacht, their intention, like the army's intention is to follow the directives of their leader in order to expand the borders of Germany and bring wealth and power to their homeland. Whereas the like intentions of like the SS divisions are like, okay, we're going to go out after we've claimed this territory and we're going to fucking murder everybody because we hate them and we don't want them to exist.
They don't have a right to exist.
They don't have a right to exist. And that I think is the fundamental difference that goes to show you why at the very end of World War II, you had Wehrmacht fighting SS who wouldn't surrender because they were like, this needs to end for the good things. Like, we need to save our country. And you guys are still trying to destroy it with this mindset.
Ideology.
There is one specific battle at a castle in Germany. An SS division was holding it, and you had Allied troops allied with Wehrmacht soldiers to take this castle from one of the last bastions of like armed SS resistance.
Isn't that wild?
I want to look it up because I want to remember what the actual castle was called.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It's an interesting story.
When
you guys keep going while I look this up.
Yeah, when you find it, let me know and I'll pop it onto the screen.
So what? I'll just keep going with the episode.
Yeah. Let's just keep going with the episode.
So after the
Castle Itter, the battle for Castle Itter. That's it.
Okay, I'm just gonna put it up on the screen real quick. Itter.
I'll send it to you here right now. I'll send it to you.
I got it up. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Castle Itter. So we've got. Wow, that is a crazy looking castle.
Yeah. Right.
That is ornate. And Hitler's bunker in rural Austria too.
Yeah.
My God, that's crazy. In Salzburg.
Nest?
Yeah. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Back to the episode.
Yeah.
Back on track.
After the bullets were going everywhere, it cuts back to the guys chilling, just lying on the side, and like Malarkey sits down and toys like, where's the best grub to eat in Germany? Because that's something that Malarkey was like really known for, was knowing all these places. Knowing all these places, he was like probably making up half of it. But that was what he was known for. And Malarkey was just like, I'm just drinking this water right now.
Malarkey's
he's planning like an eat, pray, love journey through Europe as he fights the Germans.
Yeah, actually,
very Hemingway of him. Very farewell to arms.
It goes to Buck and Winters are chilling, and this guy's like, where's Easy Company at? Like, we need to get your CO up. Major Strayer needs to talk to you right now.
Right.
And Buck's like, well, I guess that's you, Dick.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he goes and chats with them, and then he gets briefed as to the 85. I don't know what the guns. The artillery.
They said, hey, we have a bunch of 88 millimeter cannons firing on the beach that we need you to take out. But then they go there and it's actually revealed that it's like 5 105 millimeter howitzers.
Yeah.
So the intel was wrong, but they're still artillery guns.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just like,
they don't necessarily have the munitions to.
Can you guys deal with this? And then Winter's like, yeah, we can deal with that. No problem.
Classic Winters.
So he goes, and then it cuts to the brief of the assault. And Winters called it right away. He's like, yeah, there's 1 and 2 that we know of. Count on a 4th or a 3rd and a 4th right here and here.
Yeah.
And he was like, spot on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. Because his cartography is
like,
just
covered by the entrenched with machine guns covering the rear. Assault with like groups of 3.
Because they would have had a lot, because like that was a part of counter information, like counter espionage with the Allied forces, was to get their hands on German field manuals.
Yes.
So they could practice how to counterattack their positions, because they would study how they would be set up. So he would probably be briefed on like how this kind of position would be configured
when they were in England. Probably a huge part of that was this. And that's, again, Easy Company was made specifically for these kinds of things. That's the whole division, is like the special task force, essentially. Not special forces, more like commando shit, really.
Yeah.
And that's all that they were trained to do, pretty much.
Fucking so
aside
cool.
from the regular soldiering that they do, but they're like the more specialty company.
Yeah.
And you really see that later on in the attack. But yeah, it's funny. He's like going through all. He's like, he's like, yeah, you guys get on the big gun. You assist. You guys are gonna do this. Blah blah blah.
Pairing everybody up, giving them tasks.
And then he's like, who's left over? And everybody puts their hands up, and like you see Hall in the back go like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just found that really funny.
Yeah, because they were like,
that.
shouldn't you find your unit? He was like, I guess I like you guys better.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
Yeah, you survived the jump with these guys, right? Like you're
fuck.
part of their unit essentially now, but you're not.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have the training that they got.
It's a band of brothers.
He still sticks comes along anyway. I can't remember if he comes with them.
He comes later.
He comes later.
He runs.
He's like,
shows up, and then he's just like, "I'm gonna help you guys."
Yeah.
And Winters kind of just steals him away because, But yeah, then they start gearing up and everything, and that's really they leave everything just weapons and ammo.
Yeah, they was like weapons, ammo. Yeah, because they're not that far. They're like 2 kilometers away. Like they don't need to carry all these heavy packs, and they're not going to need a sleeping bag.
They need to do it quick, right? They need to be fast.
Yeah,
and surprise them, right?
And the whole scene, like where this happens, is probably like 10 to 15 minutes long. And
this is a long segment.
I can imagine that it's probably it was probably similar in time. I wonder how long the actual
probably pretty
capture
accurate.
took place.
I
wasn't
imagine
that long.
With the editing and stuff, like if this sequence takes 15 minutes, and the actual battle probably took half an hour.
Yeah, like it wouldn't have taken much longer, which is is really cool. I think that
it took long enough that divisions came and helped them out, right?
Yeah, true enough.
But yeah, them going through like the cabbage fields and everything like that.
Yeah.
On the hedgerow, just like peeking.
Beacon.
Ooh.
Just look. So then the rest of it, it's them going. They get there, and then they're kind of just trying to recon and trying to figure out, what are we up against? What are we doing? And of course, Winters was right. They've got like 2 MG42 nests and the 4 howitzer positions.
Yeah.
And then like they said like, oh, I don't know, there's probably gonna be like maybe 20 guys you have to fight. And then there's like, I don't know, 60. There's like maybe 2 or 3 platoons protecting these fucking guns.
Like maybe
so many people
guys here, right? Like
maybe he brought like maybe 15 dudes with him, maybe 1 full squad and 2 full squads, and that's it.
This is like
anyone that was there went. That's
This is like 300. This is like a 300 type deal. Like this is a lot of people against a very small amount of people.
Dug in too. That's not easy.
But
that's but what they did was spot on, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna
say their fire one way and then hit them from the other way with grenades and jump in the trenches, cause all sorts of chaos in advance.
Yeah.
So this is a strange kind of thought for me, but what do you guys think of plot armor in a show that's recreating real life events?
There is no plot armor.
I was thinking that too. I was like, this. They say that everything is flourished a little bit for dramatic effect, right? There are a few things that are changed, but like things like Joe Toy getting hit 2 times with grenades point blank and being fine.
No
happened in
shrapnel.
real life.
It
happened. So like that is not plot armor. That's just there are so many moments in this battle where I was like, if this happened in a movie, you'd be like, that's bullshit.
Yep.
But it happened.
And characters do die in the series. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. And
it does happen.
I just thought it was kind of curious. No, absolutely not. And we do see that by the end of this scene, or the end of this battle.
That shot in the ass.
Yeah. Well, there's one guy who gets shot in the ass like right off the bat, and he's incredibly apologetic about it.
Yeah. He's so mad. He's like, "Damn it!"
Imagine getting shot and just saying, "I'm sorry, I fucked."
Yeah, I really fucked up.
Well, imagine doing that.
Like it was your fault you got shot in the ass.
But like the way that he went in and the way that he got shot was so fucking like the chances are so slim. It's ridiculous.
I can't, because he's crawling through the hedgerow and he like flips over, and as he flips he gets shot in the butt.
Yeah,
right?
he like tries to dolphin dive almost into the into the thing, and then he just gets shot right in the tuchus. He gets
oh, it hurts so bad.
He gets Forrest Gumped. The man gets gumped.
Yeah,
Really does
and then
take
they have to they bandage him up, and they're like, "Do you think you can make it back on your own?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so." So they pick him up and they just throw him up over the trench. He just fucking crawls all the way back to the command post
They don't
with a
even
bullet in his
bandage
butt.
him up. They
No,
look and see if he's okay and toss him.
yeah, he's like, "Oh, get the
But,
fuck out of here, go!"
Yeah, because the
Yeah, so
grenades
they,
were going
They
off.
toss him, and they're like, "Tell them to bring more people, bring reinforcements."
We need more people, please.
Yeah,
please.
I think we are kind of
Jumping around a little bit. Yeah.
Like,
again,
with the way that they assaulted the trench was really cool. With the
Yeah, this is a dense
like,
scene.
they like shoot the shit out of them on the
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
then on the left, like Buck, Garnier,
Mhm.
and Malarkey, 3 guys.
Mhm.
Compton like rolls forward. And he's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then he comes back and he does like a whole bunch of hand signs, which I don't know. I understood grenade, 5, and throw.
Yeah,
That's all I understood.
pretty
He did,
much.
like 12 other things, and then they just yeet the grenades, and then just charge them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
fucking
what you
crazy.
do. It's
That's
right.
what you do. The grenades shock them,
Mhm.
and then next thing you know, they're right in your face, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're still shell shocked, and the guy's right in front of you shooting you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
You just
This
yeah.
scene is brutal. This scene is very dense with action. It's very
violence.
very very intensely paced. Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? Like with
That's how it
this
was.
in like a military operation, it's surprise, speed, and violence of action. That's what they say.
It's
And
so
those are like kind of
quick.
the doctrines of
It was very
this.
fast.
Yeah.
So much. Buck not like his gun jamming, and then
Oh my God, his
dodging,
I'm
just-
using,
Oh,
like
God.
dodging 12 bullets to get
like
into the trench.
they get into the trench and Buck goes to shoot the guy. And he's like, "Oh shit!" And then that guy, I think someone else takes him out. But then his Thompson jams again. I'm like, dude, throw the Thompson away.
Just
Like, it's not working.
get the MP40, man. The MP40s are way better.
Just pick it up, man. Oh my God.
Have you never played
Yeah.
World at War? Come on now, man.
I do get it though, because you're thinking
Yeah.
about like you spend 3 years training with this weapon. You don't want to pick up a weapon you've never
Exactly.
used before.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Completely
But,
different
And they are
weapon,
pretty
too.
reliable,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the only time we see it jam.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
right
you see
there.
a couple in the show. There's a couple moments. of
Yeah, there's a
people's
couple.
weapons
It's gonna
jamming.
happen
And
with
just, like,
any
it
gun,
sucks
though, right?
because
Like,
it's just chance, right?
all
Yeah.
guns jam.
Yeah.
Yep. No matter how much you clean
yeah.
them,
But
There's
yeah,
a
like
lot of chance
3 of
to it.
them hit the trench, and then like as soon as that happens, Winners is like, okay, follow me, and they just charge.
Yeah.
Yep.
They get
Because
it because
the trench is
it's safer to be in the
packed.
trench, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
It's always better to have concealed cover than no cover
Mhm.
whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they figure out that the guns are wrong. That
Yeah,
the
they're-
guns are.
I found that out pretty quick.
Yeah, the artillery
Yeah.
is not the same. It's not the howitzer.
really
Not the one
matter.
that they prepared for. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Doesn't
they
really matter too much,
instead
though.
of putting the dynamite down or the TNT down and blowing up the whole thing, they just pop one stick seemingly just
you
into
just
the
need to
barrel.
scuttle it, right?
No,
You
no.
just need
I
to
think what they
break the
did
barrel.
was he had TNT. No, Hall shows up. He's like, "Hey, I wanted to come with you guys." So he jumps in and he's like, "I have TNT, but I don't have any way to detonate it." So what they do is they throw a brick of TNT down the barrel, and then he uses a German stick grenade and he throws it down there, and that activates the TNT, and that blows up the barrel of the cannons.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
Yeah. So they take the first gun
Mhm.
and they hold it while they blow it up, and then they start trying to move down the trench to take the second gun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
do
there's
that
the other
quick.
two across. They do that
They
really
do
quick
that
too.
fast, dude.
Is this the part where he turns the corner and there's the two Germans trying to set up the MG42 down the
Just
fucking
pop
trench
off.
from them, and he
Yeah.
takes them? Oh my God, that I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit!
I remember
nope.
the 2 grenade, and then the second grenade goes off from Buck, and
Yeah, I was thinking like 5 seconds
like
later, and then
fucking
MG42 would have mowed down the whole squad when
would
they
have
turned the
killed a
corner.
lot of people.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Yep.
But yeah, like the fuck, like Garnier shooting them, and then the Jeep
Yeah.
jockey missing, and he's like, "Fucking Jeep jockey."
Oh yeah, the
Love
guy
Garnier.
comes with him. He's
Garnier's
like,
probably my favorite character in the series.
yeah.
Yeah.
Garnier and Joe are very funny.
Yeah.
And
He's probably my favorite character. He's probably like I would say one of the more real characters, like
Mm.
real.
Garnier.
It's just like the fuck, I just smacked my. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
Yeah.
Oh,
And then-
real as in like how most people probably would be.
I
Yeah.
think right around this
Angry
point
and
too, like they're holding. No, this is after they take the second gun. I think they take the second gun. They
Yeah.
just
Well,
really they rush
Toy-
in there like
Yeah, Toy, Compton, and Winners take the second gun.
right. They
And just
rush in
walk
with
up to each
grenades.
other, throw the grenades, and then charge. Before the grenades go off, they're like right there.
Yeah,
Boom, boom, boom. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
yeah. Very
Or
intense
punches
close
the
quarters
guy with
combat this
fucking-
whole time.
Yeah.
Punches the guy in the face with the brass knuckles.
That was one of my
Yeah.
favorite moments of this
Callback,
whole
huh?
of this whole thing. Winters.
Yeah,
See, like the guy was surrendering. non-lethal blow to the face. You know, he's gonna be out. That guy is gonna be out cold for a good couple hours.
Brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Right to the dome.
And the toy got his brass knuckles. I don't know where he got them
his
from,
brass
but
knuckles,
he got them.
Yep,
I could use some brass knuckles. Yo, he used them all right.
He got them. He used them.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I thought that was a pacifist move in a very non-pacifist situation. Yeah.
And then I think as this is happening, the other guy's set up on the first gun already with the
I think this is where they take the second gun. He punches them. They're fighting, and then like 5 or 6 Germans get out of the trench and run, and they take them out. As they're
I don't know
trying
how
to
you
escape.
guys remember
and
this.
then Malarkey's out there with this.
Yeah, that's it. Malarkey's like,
one of those guys has a Luger.
like,
He runs out.
He just fucking runs in the middle of the field, and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like going through these guys, and then they stop shooting, and they're like,
"Oh, now they stop."
I think they think he's a medic. he's looking through.
He's gonna need a fucking medic.
And he can't find a Luger, so he's like, "Fuck!" And then they're like, "Fucking run, Malarkey!" So he's like running, and he's like trying to dodge and weave, and then they all open up again, and there's just bullets flying around him and whizzing past him, and just somehow he's just ducking and
get
going.
Your Luger, but I couldn't get it for you, you fucking Mick.
Yeah, and he goes and he tries to pick up an air horn, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
That's what he thought the Luger was.
Yeah. But it was like a little
horn.
Air horn. Yeah,
They knew he was coming. They placed that there on purpose.
It was a trap. It was a trap. It was a trap for this one
soldier.
soldier.
That they were doing winners calls Buck, and he's like, "Calm down." Like, look, we're doing something right. And they're like shooting at the other trench.
Oh right, yeah.
That was a cool moment. I like that.
They mix up so bad that the Germans from the 4th gun are shooting at the guys in the 3rd gun, and they're like, "Stop it! Snell!
Please stop!"
I think is that when Hall shows up.
That's when Spears shows up. That's when Spears and Dog Company show up.
They spike the guns before that happens. No,
they take out 2, and then
Spears... so Hall shows up with that, and then
yeah. Oh, is that when? No, yeah. He tells him to go, and then that's when Hall gets the grenade, and he gets.
I should use my notes. Okay. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, you see Lipton saving up Popeye, putting that shit on his butt. I don't know what it is.
It's the clotting agent. It's to stop the bleeding. It clots the wounds. Yeah.
You think this is a ticket home? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And he's like, I just got here. Then Able Company shows up, and then
Dog Company shows up, right?
Able. This was before Spirit, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And then they take the 3rd gun. They say like, hey, do you have enough ammo to take the 3rd gun? And Compton's like, we'll soon find out. And then they did. They take the 3rd gun.
Yeah.
And then and then he sees the Hall's dead body.
Right, yeah, because Hall got hit by a grenade in the trench.
Yeah.
And so Winters finds him, which is like, it's an interesting moment because throughout the show, like Winters and Hall's the one who lands this private who he just met, who's not from his unit. And they just meet, and he sort of like takes him under his wing. He's kind of protective of this guy.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole episode, and he kind of likes him. He's like, I like you. Like, I want you to stick around.
Garnier likes him now too. Apparently.
Yeah, Garnier likes him now too. And then unfortunately,
he's all right, that kid.
Yeah.
And then he gets killed. Yeah, it's too bad.
Unfortunately, he gets hit with a grenade in the trench.
How no one's there's, as Tony said, plot armor. No one really has it.
Yeah.
No, it's really chance and good and bad luck.
Yeah,
and,
it's not plot armor. It's really not. It's real life armor. It's it's like reality
Those guys
armor.
were lucky to get through that fight.
Yeah,
150%.
I always think about it as it's physics armor. It's just like the laws of nature deciding when and where you may perish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe today this guy shoots at you and the wind's off and the bullet doesn't hit you.
I think,
and you know,
in the next episode, I think Spear talks about that a little bit.
Oh yes,
if you don't go into this knowing that you're already dead. You're just gonna go crazy. But if you think you're dead already, you're gonna be fine because if it's my time, it's my time. I'm already
if you
dead,
accept it. If you accept that you're it's inevitable that you won't make it home. Yeah.
That's very dark. Very dark. Yeah.
It gets into the mindset of that character who you see a lot more, and just sort of this like very very brutal, very pragmatic soldier
Officer.
of soldiers who's just like, we're all dead, man, and none of this matters. We just have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Absolutely.
I can't get in that headspace.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to have to.
No.
know?
Count me out of anything war related ever. Honest to God.
And then I think Winters finds the that's when he finds the map.
Mhm.
Yes, right.
well.
He's in he finds the little command den for this artillery
With all the artillery positions everywhere.
Yeah, and you hear
Yeah, so
German through the radio, through the ham radio.
Yeah, so he grabs a map because it kind of looks important, and he just stuffs it in a pocket.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
later
that
on,
might be the first swastika we see.
yeah,
that's true on
I
the
think it
table
is.
there. Yeah,
I
think it
on the
is.
map.
Yeah, and it's not shown directly. It's shown because the light shines through the piece of paper, and you can see the insignia on the eagle and the Third Reich signal insignia, which is that's interesting. Like it's the second episode, pretty much at the end of it, and there hasn't been any swastikas at all, despite that being like obviously the most nationally recognizable thing to happen. But then again,
that and the German eagle. Yeah.
But then again, it could just be that they never came across anybody who would actually show a swastika.
Well, like I said, it was mostly parade dress and SS units, and they wouldn't be fighting SS units yet.
Yeah, and I think that just a note on that, I think it really kind of goes to show that this show is not about the horror and like the horribleness of the Nazis, but rather it's there to explicitly honor the bravery of the people who contributed to this war, especially
it's
the
more
people
focused on the soldiers than the actual fight.
Their relationships, their bravery and their brotherhood.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of episodes where it's like, nah, screw story, we're just going straight battle.
Yeah, I can imagine.
A lot of
there's a third episode
like that.
Yeah, Karen Tan's like that, and I think Crossroads is also like that. Yeah,
I've heard about the episode Crossroads before, so I assume
I literally just watched it earlier today, and it's very good.
Good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to keep watching.
You never know. But yeah, then Spear shows up after he gets the map and is like, I got some ammo for you guys.
Yeah.
And I take a shot at that gun. And he's like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. And then he just basically one-mans this fucking
him and all his soldiers hop out the trenches and get shot all up.
He's insane. Like, this guy's crazy. Like, he leads, he's got like 4 dudes in dog company. They all get wounded. He jumps up over the embankment and just takes this entire place by himself. He takes out like 12 guys, and he just goes in there and just takes the whole 4th gun by himself.
Like, all of his guys are getting killed. I think he's the only one left.
Like, really, why he probably didn't have the tactical training. None of those guys, except for Easy, really did.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that he's just sort of I just think he's a bit of a cowboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you also don't see that later on in the series.
Yeah, and I don't see Spears as the kind of person who really gives a shit about other people.
All right. I disagree on that a little bit.
Really? I don't know. So far,
yes, but I'd say later on in the series, when you get to know him more as a character,
we have yet to see.
But we don't know that. For right now, he kind of seems like he's just in it for him, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think that shows why they called on Easy to take the guns out, because they know what they're doing a lot more than any other company in the division.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they called them more specifically them. And then Lipton shows up and he's like, I got TNT. Like, we don't need it.
Yeah, we already did everything.
Big gun. And he's like, I got TNT. And he's like, we don't need it. He looks really so sad.
He is, because he's chilling there, just trying to patch up his buddy's butt, and then he's like, okay, well, I got to go back and do my job now. And then they figured it out. All right,
okay, they're good.
When it's like, we need it for the 3rd gun. Go.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, go. Finally, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And they start.
My opportunity is now.
I guess that must have been the 4th gun, right?
Yeah. The last
gun. And then they start to fall out.
Yeah, they take the last gun and they disable it.
Be there anymore after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
now they're holding nothing for no reason against an overwhelming force. So
if they don't, artillery hits them, right? Like
yeah, and they start running away. They start retreating.
They do a tactical retreat.
And then they just get
a retreat withdrawal.
It's just a tactical withdrawal, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not successful in their withdrawal because all of them get completely mowed down.
Everybody lives,
Yeah.
All of the guys from Easy lived that encounter.
Yeah, but not any of the Germans who ran out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well the Germans got.
Oh, sorry, yes, the Germans are retreating 100%.
Yeah, the Germans. I'm saying that the Germans are retreating right now because they've lost all their men, obviously, and their guns, and
then
everybody shoots them as they're running away, essentially, which is Ooh,
that's not good. So then it like fades out back to the battalion HQ where Spears is getting, or not Spears, sorry, Winters is getting like debriefed.
Debriefed, yeah.
And he's just like that there was around. He's like, yeah, there's probably around 60 guys there. We probably killed around 20, so there's probably 40 more.
Yeah.
And the guy and the captain who he's talking to is just like 60. What?
Thought there were 20. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You guys did that kind of thing?
Yeah.
And before anything that he's like, yeah, maybe our mortars or artillery is what we'd need to do. And then before he can do anything else, Nixon shows up with his tanks.
Yeah.
Hop in. He's like,
Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen Nixon the whole episode, but then he shows up with a couple Shermans. He's like, fresh delivery right from Omaha.
Freshly baked.
Nice ride you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, those tanks are really cool.
To be fair, that's a nice ride he has.
Yeah,
I'd love to roll up and just chilling on a tank. That's like
big
the coolest place you can enter anything.
Any situation.
Any situation.
I got
tanks. What do you got?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's fades out. And now it's more like
they're in a town.
Nighttime.
Yeah.
They're in a small town. I think it's the same town that now they've secured.
Yeah, and
more.
it's showing like a lot of soldiers sitting there trying to be quiet, and you're hearing screams from the wounded men in the background. Everyone's looking like really distraught from that. Which I mean,
obviously,
makes sense. It's been an intense day, and a lot of people did not make it.
Like a field hospital right there.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Very long day.
And it's like
very long day.
As this is going on, Winters is
a real day of days.
Talking, like narrating, I guess, what's going on and how like they didn't like after the one day of fighting, nothing was certain if we were gonna be able to hold it. Like nothing, the invasion success wasn't certain yet. And then he said, yeah, they only had 1 hour of rest before they had to go back and do more fighting.
It's crazy.
And then it shows the truck that the guys are in.
And they're cooking. That's right. Malarkey's cooking stew, and it smells like a dead animal.
And it's they're cooking it in a magazine container.
Yeah.
They're cooking awesome. That's the most ingenious pan or pot I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
I love that.
Like, how do you know how to cook your Irish? And I felt physically attacked when I said that. I was like, come on, bro.
Why are you calling me out like this, man?
Why are you doing this to me?
Calling me out through the space-time continuum.
And then Winters sees them all there and goes up and he's just like, I might as well talk to these guys. And he's just like, yeah, no one's seen me in yet. That makes me your, CO essentially.
Yeah, your commanding officer,
Yeah. And then that's when Toy offers him the drink and he's just like, Lieutenant, don't drink. And he's like, it's been a day of firsts, and takes the swig.
Like we were saying before, And I think it seems like a Bill, the guy. I'm terrible with these names.
Garnier, the very Italian sergeant. Because he kind of butt heads. He doesn't really trust Winters this whole time. For the first 2 episodes, he doesn't trust him.
Yeah,
he doesn't really want to follow him
completely.
But now this is the scene that Chet changes, where he's sort of like, okay, I acknowledge you. I will respect you. I
respect the title. I respect the title of commanding officer, and you're not a ball breaker, so I'm not gonna get too up in arms about it. And he says, oh, and by the way, I'm not a Quaker. And then he leaves. He walks away from the truck.
We're all laughing.
And he was like, yeah, he's probably a fucking Mennonite. Where is he from? Where's he from? Pennsylvania?
That's really funny.
Yeah, I like that scene. That's a nice bit of banter, a bit of comedic relief.
Undo the tuna, I think it is.
What's that?
Nick, back up. as like he's having trouble, Winter's getting that can open.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Obvious that he's like really distraught and like
Mm-hmm.
shit on his mind.
Yeah.
You find that out more when he explains to Nixon like he had a kid die in his platoon
Mhm.
that
Yep.
Which is interesting because he wasn't even from his platoon. He was just someone that he.
Mhm.
It was Hall was just someone that they
liked.
crossed paths and he wanted to stick around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was unfortunate that he died in the way that he did, because it's obviously a tragic story. Super young
Yeah,
kid.
it really affected Winters as well.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because he's talking to Nix. That's right. Nix shows up. Nix always shows up whenever Winters is having a bad time.
Yeah,
I really like their friendship a lot.
so do
they're
I.
in this show.
Good.
Yeah.
The whole like chemistry and everything is really good.
Yeah,
Just Nix is always around whenever Winters is having
Actors, it's
his
really
down.
good.
Yeah.
Between the two of them as people,
I
they're
wonder-
like really close friends.
I wonder if Nixon actually exists.
Yeah,
or if he's
yeah.
a figment of Winter's
Nixon-
imagination
Oh,
to
Fight
pop
Club
up to help
situation?
him. Yeah,
Oh,
Fight
get
Club
outta here.
situation, or like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off situation. Like he
Right.
has his alternate ego trying to steer him in the right direction.
Right.
Get
I would
here with
love I would love imaginary
That's
Ghost
fair.
Ron Livingston. I would
That's very
love
funny.
that.
That would be really funny.
That is very, very funny. At
That's an
the end, there's a
alt-history thing.
montage of all the scenes where it's just Winters talking to himself. Yeah.
Oh my god. What a dark and surreal story that
Yeah,
is.
like that would be such a left field turn for this show. This very grounded in reality show. It's very much a historical drama. And at the end, it's revealed that Winters has been having a psychotic break this entire time and has been talking to an imaginary friend. I would lose my mind too.
Like the showrunners are like, all right, guys, we're getting M. Night Shyamalan to do the last episode. I know it
last
sounds
episode.
risky. He's not done a war drama ever, but he's assured us that he has something good. So
Yeah.
we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
We got to do it. We got to give him a chance.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where the episode ends.
Pretty much. Well, I'd like to kind of pause. I'd like to pause on the speech that Winters makes at the end. Well, it's not him. There's like this moment that really reminded me of 1917, which again I recommend to everybody who's listening, and that includes the two of you.
Yep.
There's a scene at the end where the main character, I'll just say, near the end, the main character is kind of just like sitting and staring ahead, and just it's a moment of just kind of quietude. And it was really like a poignant moment, and it's kind of a focal point in the movie. It's a book, it's a very big focal point.
Sorry, did you say quietude?
Quietude, yeah.
Is that a real word?
Yeah.
Is it actually?
Is
Yeah.
it? Why wouldn't you just say solitude?
Because quietude is different than solitude. Because he's not
Interesting.
alone. Solitude
Okay.
implies that you're alone, either cognitively or like physically. Whereas quietude just implies that there's like a moment wherein you kind of just like deafen everything that's outside of you, and you
Gotcha.
have that moment of quietude. Because he's watching over the riverbank, another city under siege by the Allied forces, and you see like lots of gunfire, lots of fire. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Explosions. Like you can tell that that's not a good scene. That's a very very bad scene. And I really liked. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I assume honestly a lot of it was kind of just vaguely inspirational stuff that was written by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
But they have like Tom Hanks kind of like reading over top of this moment, and it's poignant. I wish that I'd.
You mean Captain Winters? He's
Yeah, no,
voiceover,
I'm
his
saying
narration.
I'm saying that Tom Hanks was the narrator.
The writer, right?
He was like, wasn't it his voice at the end?
No, it was Winters.
It was Winters. At the end of Band of Brothers.
I thought that I thought that I recognized another. I thought that it was Tom
No, that
Hanks
was
for some
Winters
reason.
doing the
Tom
voiceover.
Hanks.
He does a
okay.
couple voiceovers throughout the show.
Yeah, okay, because I know that they reveal who the vets are, who they're interviewing, like what the names of the people are at the very end. Yeah, and I don't want to spoil that, so that's why I'm not looking up anything about it.
Right, yeah.
But, okay, that's interesting then. I didn't know it was his voice. I thought that they would have used like a generic voice, kind of like Bob Saget and Josh Radnor, just like another like generalized narrative voice that's used to give the inner monologue some sort of vocalization.
It's basically Winter's story.
Mhm.
This whole series. He's like the main dude.
Yeah,
So
it
I
seems
think
to
they
be.
just had him do
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, it's really in the
Yeah.
show. It's
His
like every
story.
episode focuses on a couple characters specifically and
Mhm.
following each of their stories. But Winners is sort of the
focal point of it all.
is a character that ties that all together under
Yeah.
the umbrella of these people being a part of Easy Company
Mhm.
and him being the commanding officer. So it's kind of he's the main character as much as anyone can be.
in
yeah.
a documentary
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this.
I'm gonna pop up a quick image of Easy Company here. Just
Sure.
as
And
you
as
say
that's
that.
going, I'm gonna say like the ending of the episode where it fades to black and it says like the West Point thing where they said like,
Mhm.
or I guess it starts with it saying all the accolades that they got from the fight.
Yes.
battle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wrote it all down. If you want, I'm just gonna go over it real quick.
Oh, yeah,
read that
sure.
because I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So out of all of them, it starts with the non-officers.
Mhm.
The
So
enlisted men.
8 of them got bronze stars.
Mhm.
They were Walter Hendricks, Donald Malarkey, John Plesha, Joe Toy, Carwood Lipton, Cleveland Petty, Myron Ranney, and Popeye Wynn. They're all like, well, I guess they're not off. Some of them were. Lipton's an officer. Anyways,
Mhm.
regardless, they got the bronze stars. And then 3 of them got silver stars, which were Buck Compton, Bill Garnier, and Gerald Lorraine.
Mhm.
And then Richard Winters got the Distinguished Service Cross.
Mhm.
for
Deservedly
efforts.
so.
Yeah.
Deservedly so.
And then it also says after how Easy Company's capture of the German battery became a textbook case of assault on a fixed position and is still demonstrated at the United States Military Academy at West Point today.
Mhm.
Probably still is today too.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's reenactments of that sort of thing, of like
You know
World
what?
War II stuff.
You know what? Probably there are probably like World War II reenactors who do all kinds of very specific little battles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
it's
could
a
see
huge it's a huge hobby. I
Yeah.
don't know
But
if hobby's the right word.
On the
Lifestyle.
revolution and
No,
the Civil
there's
War.
lots of World War II reenactors. There's
Really?
tons of
Okay, I
Civil War
didn't know that.
reenactors, but there's a huge thing for World War II reenactors as well.
Really? Okay.
Mostly it's the Civil War and World War II. I don't really see reenactors for much else. Vietnam doesn't really get too much
Vietnam
reenactment.
Yeah.
I imagine I don't know. I would feel horrible doing
That
Vietnam
would be pretty
reenactments.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But,
pretend to be a
napalm and
Yeah.
a resistance
I
member.
also wouldn't be a huge fan of being on the Confederate side of Civil War reenactments either. But
No,
a lot of
anyway,
people are.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Are A-okay with it.
that's fine.
Yikes.
I mean, it's not fine, but anyway.
Bring back
No.
the Confederacy.
Anyway, yeah.
Fuck it all, man. Fuck it all.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
so that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great episode. I really liked it a lot. I
Really
saw
good.
the medal thing at the end, and I started crying because I was
Yeah.
like, damn, these guys really fucking did it. They really went out and did this. This is a very
And it's interesting considering this is like probably the least intense the show gets.
Yeah.
it really, eh?
Yeah, they
Bastion
go
is
through some
probably
insane
crazy.
stuff. Yeah.
Bastion's probably the craziest piece of like action TV I've ever seen.
Yeah, eh? More than Game of Thrones. Game of
Absolutely.
Thrones is the
Tony, they're
number
running
one
through a forest
action
and the
show
trees are
ever.
exploding around them.
What's that?
Mhm.
They're running through a forest and the trees are literally exploding around them
It's pretty cool.
for like
pretty cool.
20 minutes. It's just that. Anyways,
I wasn't actually comparing
11. Yeah, so there was 12.
to Game of Thrones, just by the way.
There was 12 of them in the that attacked that
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh wow! So only one squad.
Of
Jesus
Easy
Christ.
Company. Of Easy Company.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they had like a couple
And
stragglers.
the
Yeah,
others that show
Yeah.
up after. I don't know how many there were.
So
Yeah.
let's say 15. So
Yeah,
we're
we'll
still, it's still, let's say conservatively 16 guys against
60
upwards of 60
that were
Yeah.
entrenched.
German soldiers in an entrenched position with heavy machine gun support.
and they just bamboozled the hell out of them. Just
Bamboozled
got
the
them
hell out of them.
confused. That was so
Yeah.
smart.
And
That's
that's
really
probably
cool.
why it's still taught to this day.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because they were very smart and they were really,
Fixed position, entrenched position.
yeah.
Easy.
and-
That was all of World War One.
yeah,
Yeah.
and fun little fact, a little bit, is Company of Heroes. The first mission is based directly off of this mission, where
Nice.
you go in to take out the German batteries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know
Huh.
if they're positioned in the same way. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a one-to-one recreation, but the
Sure.
the very first set of missions at least the very first like long mission, because they take like an hour and a half probably.
Yeah.
It's a whole scenario. But it's where you're taking out the German batteries. So if you're interested in actually kind of getting more into the tactical aspect of it, you should look at Company of Heroes, which is a fantastic game. Fantastic
There's
game.
another game that's recent. I can't remember what's that bloody World War II game that just came out.
Oh, you were talking about it the other day.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell Let Loose.
Hell Let Loose. Yeah, that's Karen 10, which
that's a
the
first person
next episode
shooter
of
multiplayer based.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was mentioning that. Yeah, the third episode is Karen 10, and they literally just released that as an update in Hell Let Loose.
Yeah.
So that map of like the taking of that town is
it's really, really interesting how they do it.
And they also added like a bunch of new, updates like in terms of like new items and stuff in the game.
Mm-hmm. Quality of life stuff.
Yeah, quality of life stuff.
Cool.
Yeah,
it looks cool. The whole game looks awesome.
Yeah, it's a good game. I didn't actually buy it while it was on sale, but next time it goes on sale, I think I will pick it up again. It didn't really run great on my computer currently, so maybe when I get my computer, then I'll try to play it again.
Fair enough.
But, for now, like I'm also playing 2 other very intense tactical first-person shooters on the regular, like Insurgency and Squad, so I'm fine.
Yeah, you have more than enough to keep you.
There's for the first Insurgency, it's basically like a mod that they turned into an actual game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, what's it called?
It was a World War II mod,
it's
right?
World War II,
yeah. Oh,
Rising Storm.
Yeah. No, that's a different game.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out.
It's really good.
But
I played it. It was really good. But do you guys have any thoughts?
Man, this is a great episode.
You want to talk about it?
No, this is pretty much this is kind of like an action heavy episode, like a very action heavy episode, like Train to Busan, an episode we just did. We kind of just went through the beats and like what we thought of each beat kind of thing, but conclusively it's hard to come up with like a theoretical statement about like what you think about the movie, because it's a lot or the episode, because a lot of it is based around just like straight up action, and like the theme is generally war is horror and terror, and nothing about it is good.
Episode I thought was really good, like right before they assaulted the battery.
I cut that. I think my mic cut your feed off. What was? Just repeat that whole last sentence.
I said the tension I think was really good in this
episode.
Right before they attacked the battery.
Yeah,
it was like, this is gonna go down. Like everyone's like on edge.
There's like 2 minutes of them just like looking around and trying to get a feel for what's going on, and that was really good.
I also couldn't stop drawing parallels between Winters and Ross. If Ross was in charge here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I like that. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I'm not going to probably do that in the future because he's not really a part of it after the first episode. But this is the second episode. Like we just saw Ross. And it just made me think on how different it would have been if he was in charge still.
Oh, they
wouldn't have made it out of the plane. They wouldn't have made it out of the fucking plane. He would have got them to like stay in the plane until they gained altitude or whatever the fuck the pilot was trying to do when his buddy got shot. Like that would have turned out horribly. That's a funny thought though. I didn't think of that. Ross completely left my mind.
Like throughout the whole episode, I was like, if Ross was here, it'd be different.
It might be different.
They wouldn't have done the strategy would have been just completely different, I think.
They would have just charged right in there, and the MG42 would have cut them all down before they even got a chance.
You would have yelled out Ohio Silver, and then they would have. I'm probably not going to do that in any future episodes because.
No, that's actually a really good point. That's really interesting to say.
It's definitely relevant.
It's definitely fresh in a lot of people's mind that jump from episode 1 to 2, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But
episode 3, I don't think I'd be thinking that at all. Episode 3 is different.
No. Yeah.
And also, there's a lot more other like kind of commanding officer characters that are involved in episode 3 that sort of they dictate how the flow of that situation goes.
I imagine it's going to get way more kind of diplomatic and bureaucratic in terms of like how the narrative gets.
Not really.
No. Because that's kind of how Chernobyl went, right? Like it started off with a disaster, and then it just got like more and more complicated in terms of the
based on the actual fighting the next couple of episodes too, right? So it's whoever has command, whatever they say goes.
Yeah,
and no one's really in charge to counter them, right?
Yeah,
it's not political at all. the whole.
That's
war.
interesting. It's interesting seeing that compared to now.
Like there are of course lots of like military. There are lots of officers, I'm sure, that were did lots of things purely for their own gain or purely for their own political interest or for their own wealth or whatever. Like that happens everywhere, no matter what. But I think in regards to World War II, relatively the war effort on the part of the Allies was relatively apolitical. It was like, okay, it's not about conservative and liberal or whatever. It's just about like, we need to go stop this horrible force,
these Nazis. These Nazis. There's a reason why, like, the word Nazi is kind of like being called Voldemort or something like that. Like, it's not something you want to be. It's not something anybody or
some people do want to be that, and they're wrong.
Yeah, and they're that's not something you should want to be. That's not something you should want to be.
No. But I know, like, a lot of the time it's not because they want to be like, I want to be a Nazi. It's they get taken advantage of by other neo-Nazis. And get indoctrinated into this whole thing.
You know,
I've read, like, a lot of them have been like troubled kids.
Of course,
like outcasts, all that shit, and they found the neo-Nazis reached out to them and were like, hey, look, we're like you. We got your back. We'll be your friends and all that type of shit. And then they just get pulled into this whole world, and they're the only people that have really ever supported them and like been friends with them. So like,
well, that's American History X.
Pulled in and drawn into this whole shitty ideology that it just kind of becomes their life.
I was watching.
That's what I think is the main issue right now on that neo-Nazism is
I think
taking advantage of basically incels and shit like that.
I don't think that it's mutually exclusive. I think that there's
obviously it's not.
I think that somebody could be like already pretty racist and then come across these people and then their views are confirmed or their views are changed by somebody who's manipulating them. I feel like it's not a one size fits all kind of prescription, but I understand. I understand what you're saying though. Like overall, or not overall, but a lot of the time it has to do with like the like mental manipulation and the emotional and probably financial abuse of a powerful predator with a lot of social and social power. I was watching it's interesting you bring this up because I was watching a Kamau. I can't remember his name properly. It's the Kamau Bell, I think, on CNN. He's a black journalist, and he goes into like KKK meetings and tries to convert people from being a KKK member.
Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, this guy's a real. This guy's a real one. He's been on Rogan a couple of times. He's one of the only people on Rogan that I would consider an actual progressive.
Oh, you mean of the guests that Rogan tends to get on the show?
Exactly. Oh, I'm into the marketplace of ideas, but I'm only gonna have Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro on. Like, okay, fucking idiot.
Elon Musk. And...
Yeah, exactly. Just right wing shills. But anyway, he was talking to a group of people who have been rehabilitated from being white supremacists. It's like a support group that these guys go to. Lots of great
TED Talks on that, also, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that. And they do exactly what you were just saying. That story is absolutely right. They were saying that they would go and they would find the skinniest, most weenie, like angry little like boy, essentially like a teenager, and just say all of your problems, like your mom is addicted to drugs because of the Jews kind of thing. Like just stupid, like completely separated things. Like your school system is underfunded because of black people. Like no,
just creating these scapegoats to force their anger somewhere.
If you're already not in a good state of mind, which a lot of these people aren't. Let's be real here.
Yeah, you can't really be
like that. Kind of makes more sense to them that this has to be the reason.
But it's not to justify it at all, and I think that we should clarify that it's not to justify. Obviously, condemning any sort of white supremacy.
Understanding and empathy are a way to try to hopefully solve these issues without extreme measures. You know what I mean?
And I think that
come to that too, though. That's the thing.
I think
that's the scary thing is you don't want it to come to that. You don't want it to be freaking liberal militias fighting neo-Nazis on University Avenue. You know what I mean? That's if you've gotten there, it's irreparable.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, hopefully that the you can do enough work in the communities to try to negate the impact of these like you said, Tony, predators who want to further this agenda either for their own hate or simply because it financially or feeds them or gives them power they want, right? And,
well, it's often it's bureaucratically set up like a cult 90% of the time. Like it's a
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, like a pyramid scheme.
The KKK is a pyramid scheme.
It's a reverse funnel system, guys. It's not a pyramid scheme. No, turn the funnel upside down, boss. But yeah, I think that covers it. I don't have any concluding thoughts other than this was a really great episode, and the fact that it stands up to be one of the best like action TV episodes I've ever seen, despite 19 years passing since this show premiered.
I still can't get over that.
Really crazy.
Like watching the later episodes and stuff, I'm like, oh wow, this is fantastic through and through. Like this is very well shot. The action's fantastic.
So
it's historically very authentic.
And again, the CG.
Yeah.
Like I can't, my mind can't get over how good it is for 2001.
Yeah, a lot of it's practical.
And I think that
the majority of it's practical.
The only scene that I saw in this giant battle that seemed to not have practical effects was the planes entering the artillery scene. Entering the artillery, like,
you mean
maelstrom.
Like when it got like whatever. The one that got shot in half kind of thing and just kind of fell out of the air?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like,
that got me. I was like, that doesn't look real.
Yeah, like they shot the engine and the fire is like going into the engine, but it looks kind of weird. It looks like a piece of armor on some, like one of the kids from Spy Kids or something like that.
If you really focus on it, it doesn't really hold up, but for the most part, it's fucking incredible.
If you focus on Kermit the Frog, you can tell he's a puppet. Like
Kermit's oh my god,
puppet.
Kermit's a puppet.
Fuck.
What do you think? Jim Henson just has his hand up a frog's ass for fun, 24/7.
I just thought, man, I don't know. I just wanted to believe. Is that all? That's all I wanted, man.
Jim Parsons.
Live in this world for a little longer.
Jim Henson, dude.
Jim Henson?
Jim Henson. Jim Parsons is the guy from Big Bang Theory.
Okay, I always get those two guys confused for some reason.
Because Jim Parsons was in the Muppet movie for like 10 seconds.
I did not see the Muppet movie, so that's not it. That's not it. It's just
you dare to tell me that Kermit the Frog is fake? Get out of here.
He's not even up to date with the lore.
I'm sorry.
With the lore. You don't even know what's going on in the universe anymore.
Well, fun fact, I have a really hard time telling white guys apart. I have a real problem. I did not know the difference between Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon for years. like a decade.
I kind of see that.
It took a really long time for me to realize they were different people.
Yep.
They don't look the same at all. They're completely different people. They have different accents. Mark Wahlberg is a horrible person. Matt Damon isn't. Like they face everything's different, but I could not tell the difference for the life of me.
Get your life together, Tony.
Yeah.
I've been trying for 25 years, Carson. Do you think that I would be here if I hadn't tried?
You gotta try harder.
Oh man.
Unacceptable.
My best isn't good enough.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You, for the most part, you're doing great. I don't appreciate that you tried to convince me Kermit the Frog wasn't real. That's a really weird thing to do. Yeah, it's a really fucked up thing to try to do.
It's a manipulative thing to do to somebody.
Kids might be watching.
I'm willing to move past it and just forget you said anything. So don't worry.
Well, maybe I'll keep dropping hints towards it. Maybe I have some QAnon type news about Kermit the Frog.
Don't say
Kermit
that.
Drops.
If you say that two more times, we'll get banned. So don't.
I got a mirror right behind me. I'm not looking into it, but
I don't want to be canceled.
Yeah, fucking Jack Dorsey's gonna pop through my mirror.
He's gonna pop through and shoot you in the head.
What did you say? Okay.
We joke, but also QAnon subreddits should be deleted.
100%. Yeah, no,
100%. We're all trying to defend QAnon. Let me just make that clear.
Yeah, no, QAnon is not something to be supported. I will say
not
that
at all.
150%. And now we are now the shills. We have now officially become New World Order shills.
I pull my mask off. I am Jack Dorsey.
Wait.
It's been me the whole time.
Wait, If
Me
you're
the whole time.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see? Because I was having a conversation with someone about this because I watched a YouTube video about it, but Reddit has really cracked down on like hate subreddits.
They have.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
neo like straight up white supremacist neo-Nazi subreddits. Like they freaking got rid of everything. They
And
also
a lot
got rid
them
of
ship onto other sites.
really bad. They
basically
got,
like Reddit Plus.
yeah.
Mhm.
But like
they
or like I guess Reddit minus because it's like the quality is just like far less.
yeah. They got rid of a ton, and they also got rid of the Chapo Trap House subreddit, which is like so funny because someone was like, well, that's like liberal supremacy, like that's like all left stuff. And I'm like, so I do kind of agree with that because but even then I don't know, because that was one of the only subreddits on Reddit that actively was like trying to create a positive space for trans people, and unfortunately there aren't a lot that do that.
So
and, that's kind of a shame.
Chapo Trap House is strange because like they're kind of like militia members. They're a liberal
militia.
Yeah,
they're like a liberal militia,
and they'll like harass the shit out of people in like post addresses and phone numbers of trans folks or whatever.
They should get that off of Reddit, which they did.
I mean, if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law.
Yeah, they have a couple of good things going for them. I don't think diminishes all the shit that they were doing too.
I don't know much about it, honestly. I haven't listened to the podcast ever because I've heard nothing but horrible things about it, and that I
also have heard nothing but horrible things. Yeah. I'm just going off the information that I learned from this video that was explaining the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
it's
talking about like, you know, I think the question was like, is this one of those free speech slippery slope things, which I don't agree with. My mindset on this is like, free speech requires a certain give and take between everybody involved.
Yeah.
Right? You can't, the idea of free speech in a democratic society means getting rid of the hateful fringe on each side, because no proper discourse can continue when one group feels like the other one will hurt them for what they say
and literally,
you know what I mean?
Literally physically harm them in the case of trans women a lot of the time.
You cannot continue a conversation when one group
trans women
is
and men
genuinely going to be like, we are going to fucking kill you for saying what you're saying, like that, or just trying to propagate, like when your viewpoint involves an ethno state, you shouldn't be a part of the conversation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think
because that's not going to create a system that actually provides equality for anybody.
I think of James Baldwin's quote, you're either anti-racist or you're irrelevant. And I think that very much rings true to today's current standards. Like, if you're not absolutely disgusted by everything that's happening right now, like you're I don't care about your viewpoint. And this Chapo Trap House business in Come Town, I think, is another one that's really big.
Their suburb was very white supremacist as well.
That's a weird cross section, because apparently they're left leaning, but they also have a lot of Nazis or something, or they have a lot of people who like
it's I think for them
racial epithets.
The Come Town one in that video that was explained, it was like the Come Town one was the actual podcast. They're like I guess liberal dudes. Like they're not like white supremacists at all, but their subreddit was co-opted by white supremacists.
Okay.
And was sort of like taken over by them, and sort of like no one could post anything without it being along that line.
So the mods,
but also I don't really like the podcast because like they're not saying any, like they're not trying to be like, you know, white supremacists at all. And like they're just like a comedy podcast, but like they're a bunch of dudes who say the R word. Like they say like, oh, this is retarded, and this is they use FAG all the time, and like a jokey manner. And it's like, yeah, sure, man, but like I'm not going to support you because I have other things I can watch that don't say that. You know
you're canceling them, Sam. You're canceling them.
Sure.
Cancel culture. Using your right to choose what media you consume? Cancel.
Fucking free markets, I guess, right?
It's the free market of ideas, the marketplace of ideas.
Honestly.
That's why I stopped listening to Rogan. That's why I stopped listening to Rogan, because he said
lots of reasons to listen to Rogan.
There's lots of reasons not to listen to Rogan, but the straw that broke the camel's back, there was one night I came home, I had a really shitty day, and I just wanted to listen to the Sober October podcast, and I think that they've edited it out, actually. I've gone back trying to find this specific scene, and I think that they've edited it out. But he says, light up FAGs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was said in such a casual, blasé manner. I was like, this guy says this shit every single day of his life, and he says it in a derogatory way, or he says it in like a joking way, and I don't want to support anything to do with anybody who propagates that kind of thing, especially as somebody who aligns himself as an ally. He says like, oh, I'm for trans people, I'm for gays, I have like trans people on my show, blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, you're still promoting all of this really harmful rhetoric, and in a really uneven way. I just don't like participating in that. I don't think that it's a nice space to operate in, and I also think Cumtown and Chapo Trap House have way too many people. Any podcast that has more than 4 people is just no,
like,
not at all.
You mean four main members, like just a large cast, consistently?
Yeah, like what I think. Well, for one, it's hard to recognize people's voices, like unless you've listened to like hundreds of hours, and 2, it's just too chaotic. You got everybody trying to like one up each other's jokes. You don't have any actual conversation happening. It's just these wild diversions. And it's like the Doug Stanhope podcast. I love Doug Stanhope to death, but I fucking hate his podcast. It's horrible to listen to. It's recorded in a room with 8 people. Like, what? I don't want to listen to that. Anyway, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah,
that's
a whole other episode right there.
Yeah. The idea of that is like listening to someone have a deep conversation at a house party.
Yeah,
it's not like an atmosphere
why
that really
are we
lends
doing
itself
this shit?
to.
No,
I'm here to get drunk and dance. Like,
that's
what I'm trying to do right now.
And that's kind of the vibe. Like, everybody gets drunk and yells over each other, but that's
really
not something I
again.
really want to participate in. Oh shit! Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
Well, I think we went on quite a tangent here. Kind of my
we really
my
did.
Bad, but
I mean, it all kind of comes back to Nazis.
Exactly right.
it did stem from a genuine place.
That's my last note to end this show on, and I think I'll end this at this note. Every episode of Band of Brothers we do, Nazi punks fuck off.
Nazi punks fuck off. I wonder if I would get copyrighted for using
100%.
Oh shit! Right? Maybe I shouldn't say that.
They're like
you can say it.
I don't know. It's like okay. This machine kills fascists. How about that?
No, I'm saying I kind of want to put it as an outro song. Fuck off, Nazi punks.
True.
But I get demonetized, my guy.
I think we wouldn't be able to
monetizing this,
bro. You never know.
That's facts. But
let's give ourselves the opportunity, and then once it's confirmed that our audience is 6 people, then we won't give a shit anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
Once it's confirmed that our audience is only the Instagram group chat, then
it works, man.
We won't need to worry about it.
Let's just hope the YouTube algorithm doesn't find it. But All right. Let's end it off here.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening this far through. We are at 2 hours, 1 minute, and 32 seconds on the raw file time. And I think that we got some good content out of this episode. Yeah. We had some good discussions, learned something about history, learned some things about ourselves, about each other. Yeah. And about the world, about the universe.
We learned something about you, dear listener.
And exactly.
I won't tell you what it is, but it's good. Don't worry.
It's that you have a lot of spare time to listen to 2 hour podcast.
It's not just your good looks. Not just the good looks.
No, it's deeper than that. It's in your heart and in your soul.
I like you looking right into the camera and the galaxy converging in on your face. It's just oof. It's godly. It's godly.
The prophecies were true.
Yes, the prophecies were true. I think that we should keep going with Band of Brothers. I think that I think that we could probably.
Do you want to do the whole season?
I think that we could. I'm
so down for that.
We could up the podcast production.
I'm so down for that.
Yeah,
I could talk about this series for
Maybe let's take a break
hours.
for a week and then go back to it.
Yeah.
Or later on we'll go back to it.
We'll revisit. We'll talk on Sunday. And we'll figure out what the episode on Sunday that we're recording is. Might be a movie, might be TV. We're not totally sure yet. And then book. No, that's hard.
That's a commitment.
We've thought about that, and if we did do a book, it would be like we decide what it is, like in an episode at the beginning of the month, and then maybe like at the end of the month we go back to the book. Like, I think that's what we talked about.
Yeah, like we tell the people like, okay, we're gonna read up to this point by this time, and then if you want to do the same thing, that to keep up with pace, and then we can release like a long episode at the end, kind of like a book club. That's kind of what the idea is for this anyway.
That's not a bad
Yeah, that's I have quite a few ideas for like if we eventually get to the point where there is a decent sense of community, then like trying to
figure out. Yeah, you should do like community.
Trying to foster that air of like watch with us, bring your own notes, like that kind of thing.
That was the incepting idea kind of the podcast. Like we want to build some sort of community where people can all kind of share their taste in media and movies and music, TV.
Like you know how in How Did This Get Made? Like the live shows, like they tell everybody it's like here's a movie we're watching, and then the live shows they go into the audience and they get like people to ask questions and send them in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's kind of collaborative, like that kind of idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd like to have like a question and answer segment at a certain point too. Once we get that sense of community, I think that would be a good way to interact with a lot of people.
Polls for patrons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, polls for patrons. Hell yeah. But yeah, let's. Yeah, exactly. We'll reconvene. We'll talk about the scheduling for the next Band of Brothers episode. We will be back on Sunday with an unknown movie. But we'll be sure once this is posted to keep you updated and give you a fair notice before the episode is released, so everybody has a time to kind of have the time to watch what we're watching, and then we can have a discourse about it. We can have a discussion, and we can grow a community. But yeah, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
thanks you so much for being here, buddy. We love having you on. This is fun.
It's always good. You are a pleasure to have a conversation with. Hence, 23 years of knowing each other. It would be pretty hard to maintain a friendship for that long if you were really hard to talk to and annoying.
Right.
You're pretty much one of the chillest people I know. So it's a pleasure having you on.
If you were a real Ross, it would be a different story.
Yeah, it would be definitely a different story if you were a real Ross. But yeah,
Silver.
Sam, I'll talk. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, buddy.
And yeah, everybody, have a good night. This has been Videodrones episode 6. 6, yeah, episode
5.2.
Episode 5.2.
I'll bring it to I'll die on this hill.
Episode 6 or episode 5.2. Oh man, it's like the Decker versus Dracula conflict.
Yeah.
You don't know that yet, but you'll figure it out. I'm gonna get you on cinema. Trust me.
I know. We'll talk about it. That and The Sopranos.
Exactly.
Before the end of this is done.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, until next time, my friends. Auf Wiedersehen. Or actually, that's inappropriate to say. Goodbye. The American version. Goodbye. I'm an ally. I'm an ally, not an Axis.
Yeah, Nazi punks fuck off.
Yeah, Nazi punks fuck off. But have a good night, everybody, and stay safe. And we'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.
All right.
All right.